The
we have
bird
to
hand.
respect that.
Women
The
are
bird
not,
hand.
but women are
to
not.
put the onus and responsibility of everything.
Anna, you talk for a living. It's kind of
do.
rich for you to come at me. She's so mad.
That's awesome.
I think that was my favorite part. I'm like, bitch. All right, we're gonna pull up the debate, which people asked where the debate is. Me, Doug, and Terrance are all gonna react to it. All right, let me pull this up on screen. You saw no room for improvement. Now you're just simping. I mean, I stopped talking for like 3 minutes. You know what I mean? It just, sometimes in life you take L's. All right. So first we're going to bring up Doug MPA.
Hey,
Doug,
how's it going?
tell me about your experience. Again, shout out to World War Debate. They were great, right?
Yeah. I want to thank Rob Noor for organizing that whole thing. He was fantastic. He was everywhere, involved with everything. It was great. Good job, Rob Noor, and everyone that did that whole thing. It was great. We got you to the point where you said I'm ready, and that's the best thing that a team can do. And guys, remember, all these e-girls, Anna, Candace, Brett Cooper, they've had men build them up. Like Anna wouldn't be anywhere without Jink Uger. And Pearl doesn't have that machine. And she's literally growing and learning in front of the bright lights. So sometimes you take the wins, sometimes you take losses. She got up there in front of the bright lights and did her best. I'm a Pearl supporter no matter what. I'm glad to be along for this ride, and we'll get him next time.
Yeah, I'm down to do it again. Thank you. Nuclear Caudillo, what's your plan? If you want to come up too, because he also attended the event. So if he wants to give his thoughts, I emailed you the link. The man. Oh, wait, I should have given you a heads up.
It's all right. I'm using my abortion hook. Scratching my back. I don't care.
The man, the myth, the legend. Terrance
Terrance.
Well, I am a comedian. What do you want from me, man?
All right, Terrance. Well, we're going to react to the debate together. But I wanted to hear first your thoughts on the event. He was part of the opening. What did you think of the debate?
Well, the first half could have went better.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you live and you learn. I mean, that's how it goes. But it was the equivalent of an amateur boxer fighting a professional boxer that has a lot more a higher ring IQ and know how the rules work and everything like that. But on the second half, you came back and, in my opinion, you devastated her, mainly because you didn't allow yourself to get baited into her emotional traps, and you stuck to the facts. You literally read all of the shit right off the page, and she couldn't do anything.
I'm down. World War Debate, you're in a fantastic spot. Let's make round 2. Hey, I'm down. Give me 6 months. I'll study more.
Hell, I'll show up and debate that shit as well.
Yeah, you guys need to get Terrance on. I'm telling you. There's nobody in the space that knows more about this stuff than Terrance.
Yeah.
There's nobody.
Moving forward, honestly, if you're going to debate a woman, you have to be willing to go low. I mean, because here's the thing, like, unlike a lot of people in the space, Pearl's a good person, and a lot of these people aren't, and you can tell by the way that they get down and dirty and insult people, stuff like that. And I'm guessing that's going to have to be a necessary part of the game, especially when you debate women.
I think the website will help a lot, like, because that would shut down the debate if we just had all the stats on the website. You know what I mean? Because that was actually what made me freeze. Is I'm on stage and I realize I'm like, she keeps asking me for these sources, and even though I have them here, I cannot remember the exact name. Like I'm getting all of them confused in my head. And I have a stack of papers this big. This isn't going to help me.
Well, I mean, one of the things you could do is you can move all of the stats in the condensed version onto 2 pages, and then you could color code them by the different subjects they pertain to. But the thing is she stuck to a few attacking points, and she kept trying to make it an emotional argument. Especially when we were talking about alimony and child support. And she was like, well, we want these kids to starve and not have any money. You should have came back and said, look, feminism has won. Men and women are equal. And I'm going to give you the same answer as a woman I'd give a man, which is handle your shit. And that would have shut all of that down.
Yeah. And also, getting how you used to on your pregame show ask these leftist liberal women questions that literally make them hang themselves, like when she said, oh yeah, he needs to put a condom on because he's the one with the Johnson. It's they all subscribe to the same script of liberal garbage that if you get it out of them, it just makes them look bad. So that was another approach too.
Yeah, get CGA to help you. Oh no, I'm telling you guys, Terrance, look, we went through a lot of this. It was just, sometimes when there's a rabid dog barking at me, I freeze. That's the best way to describe it. That's the best. Like, I just,
There's no shame in that. Okay. There's no shame in it. I mean, you're being honest with yourself, which is what people need to grow and become better. You're not hiding, behind the shield of delusion. And I mean, I personally think you did pretty good, to be honest with you. Now, I myself am not a fan of Anna. I didn't speak to her at the event, though I did walk by her and at the mixer after the fact, and I got like some really negative vibes from her, and I just don't think she's a good person. I don't know her personally, so I shouldn't say that, but that's just the vibe I got from her.
Nuke, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up?
Everyone,
Hey,
go to Nuke's channel and subscribe right now. I'm going to put it in the chat. You need to go there and subscribe right now, please. Go ahead, Nuke.
So what did you think of the event? What did you think of the debate? What were your thoughts?
I thought the event was very well put together, surprisingly. I thought people attended, took care of us pretty well. The cookies were good.
Oh, yeah.
Some good cookies.
Those were really good.
All the food, the drinks, everything was well put together. In terms of the debate, I've talked to you guys about my complaints. I thought the open debate portion was too long. I thought 30 minutes to just go back and forth. I know that a lot of people thought, and maybe you think this too, that you ran out of steam, but she did too. Because when you stopped talking, so did she.
Yeah,
and,
that's a good point.
And women don't stop talking just because they love to talk. So I just think it was just too long. And, at some point, it just made it look like you were the one that ran out of steam. But trust me, she ran out of steam too. She had nothing else to say. So
hang on. This was their first event, so there's going to be a trial and error, and they're going to make adjustments, and that's just the way it is. I thought the whole thing went off well. The people running it were, had a lot of experience, and to be honest with you, I don't really have anything negative to say, other than the fact there were some growing pains. I mean, and that's to be expected.
For it to be in the first time, I'm just surprised that nothing much went wrong. In terms of production, people, no fights broke out.
No, I was getting out of pocket and yelling and stuff in the first half. I had to get up and walk away, and that's on me, and I accept that.
That was an emotional debate.
Yeah.
So. And do you know what's funny though? I was thinking about how, in a way, the debate was DEI. Because I was thinking about it. I'm like, just the fact that there was a silence here, that would never happen with two men. I was thinking this, and I'm like, it kind of proves the point, because there was two people, two guys that debated before us, and none of that happened for them. So You know.
Yeah, actually, they were talking about anti-Zionism, and I mean that was pretty intense. That was actually a very good debate.
All right,
Yeah.
The one in the beginning.
We're gonna play the. We're gonna watch the debate and react to it. We'll probably do this, guys, today and tomorrow because this is pretty long. So I don't know if we'll get through all of it today, but. Yeah, so if you guys have any thoughts or things you want to add about the topic, you know, strategies we could implement for next time, feel free to put them in, and I'll stop the video.
The movie to come out.
I still think that you should have walked out to the NWO theme from WCW. We'll have to set that up next time.
And here's another thing too: is you could have had PowerPoint slides that they could have played on the big showed on the big screen as you were talking.
Yeah.
And then she couldn't have gotten away with like sources, because they do that to break your stride.
Yeah.
And it's literally like, you know, you're in the ring fighting and a guy throws a lot of jabs and it screws up what you plan to do. That's exactly what that was.
But yes,
Pearl does not have a kid, you guys. Knock it off in the chat. If you keep that up, it's going to be a problem. Pearl does not have a kid. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, Doug, I don't really want to answer like questions about my personal life anymore. So don't I don't want to engage with it.
No, it's so dumb. I'm sorry, go ahead. I apologize.
Okay. So all right, here we go.
Yeah, love it. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a little interview earlier and it didn't run. So I'll just ask you again, like, what do you think tonight is your best hope for swaying people in the crowd who might not be on your side?
I don't have a lot of hope, to be honest, and are better off shacking up without.
I walk in.
All right, Pearl, welcome. I'm gonna ask you the same question. If you're gonna change somebody's mind tonight, that one person, how are you gonna do it?
I'm gonna let the facts speak for themselves.
Fair enough. All
Good
right.
answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this debate, our main card, has a little bit of a different format than what we did previously. We're going to have the opening statements for both of you. Those will be 5 minutes apiece. And then you'll each get 10 minutes to kind of do an interrogatory of the other. That will go back and forth. And then after that, we'll go into open debate. As you saw with some of the other debates earlier, we try to let the other person answer. I'll try to jump in as I can, but for the most part.
All right. I was not allowed to answer a lot. Okay. Sorry.
I want you all to mix it up. All right. Have fun with it.
Sounds good.
And who is first?
Anna
I'm
goes
first.
I thought so. Anna, take it away. We got 5 minutes.
In a May 2024 appearance on Tim Pool's Culture War podcast, my opponent, Pearl Davis, declared that women aren't really doing much. We're not having kids. We're not really contributing to the economy when you look at output.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said facts and facts.
Yeah.
In fact, she uses this ridiculous assertion to argue that women should not have the right to vote. While it's true the birth rate has declined, and we'll revisit that in a bit, women account for 47% of the American workforce.
Okay, so I want to show how manipulative. She's going to try to say that like women. So 40 women account for 47% of the U.S. workforce. She doesn't source or cite it, but it's accurate. But she leaves out that 23 to 25% of the 45% are working part-time, including stay-at-home moms who might work somewhere between 1 or 2 days a week, compared to 12 to 15% of men. Women are about 60 to 70% of part-time workers. So it's deceptive to throw out that number, 47%, like it's something to boast about, as if men and women have reached parity in workplace participation.
And you could have actually combated that when it was your turn by saying how many of that 47% are still going to be working after AI comes into the equation at full steam.
Yeah, they're firing government workers, and the government is like one of the biggest employers of women.
Yeah.
DMV
It's
is going to be
actually
fully automated.
the government doesn't hire women; it just has a woman daycare.
I admire your humility. Anna was the loudest person in the room and more assertive, which gave people the impression she won. Honestly, I thought you clearly won the argument because of how your points on divorce seem. Thank you. Look, there were parts where I thought I did better than her, but I'm not going to say I didn't L the first part
First
of it.
half, yeah.
Yeah, it just is what it is.
And you were also dressed like a school marm.
Yeah.
I told you that in the dressing room. I'm just like, you kind of look like a teacher from the 1930s here.
Yeah.
I'm just
That's
saying.
That's the vibe I go for.
That's cool. That's cool.
Council of Economic Advisors found that women have contributed a substantial portion of the U.S. economic growth since 1970, which wouldn't have been made possible.
Yeah, so I had the Council of Economic Advisors. Women contributed a substantial amount to the economic growth since 1970. Yes, primarily as a result of wage suppression, increasingly from 1970 onward. Women would have been pressured into post-secondary education in the workforce right out of high school, flooding the labor market and lowering the wage employers have to offer and to fill in skilled and unskilled positions. Sure, those employers can then reinvest the extra money they make at the expense of the decline of the purchasing power of the average person into further business ventures with the stock market growing with the GDP. But it is GDP at the expense of real wages and the standard of living in America per person. Okay.
Without the feminist movement. By 2017, women were responsible for nearly 40% of total gross domestic product, amounting to a whopping
lower than 47%.
$7.6 trillion. Of course, that figure doesn't include the trillions of dollars.
Remember, that figure includes women that are on OnlyFans. So think about that. Like when she's citing these numbers, sex workers are included in this. Weavy continues. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Okay.
Unpaid labor, women do every year, tending to the household, raising children, and caring for ailing parents.
All right, you should have ripped her apart at that unpaid labor bullshit.
It's 2026 and we're still saying unpaid labor.
Yeah,
it's the easiest time in history to be a mom. Come on, we have Roombas, and you know how much it costs to clean a 3,000 square foot apartment? Like $150. You know,
and Nuke, one kid, two at the most. This isn't like 7 kids, 5 kids. Like
right, you have one kid. Yeah, they could feed itself like in 4 years. You know, like come on.
Who stares at an iPad all day?
And the one thing, the one struggle I have is I like to let people finish, and they don't let me finish. So it's always this unpowered, like it's always uneven. But they'll say like 3 points, like 4 or 5, and I'll sometimes have a hard time remembering what the other ones are, even if I write it down. I don't I don't know. I just forget because it's like go. I don't know. I have to figure it out for the next one.
Certain sectors of our economy, women are a dominant and indispensable force. Like in the healthcare industry, where they make up nearly 80% of workers, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's 16 points.
That's not really new. Like women have been nurses since like the 1850s.
And nurses are the biggest cheaters. So they're working.
Yeah. Just ask my ex-wife.
Yeah. Statistically, medical industry women are the biggest cheaters. So thanks. You're working hard, but you're doing other stuff pretty hard too.
Million women. When it comes to education, in 1960, women earned less than 35% of all bachelor's degrees. Today, they earn roughly 58% of all bachelor's degrees, which Pearl herself benefited from.
But the bachelor's degrees are worthless now. So it's like, okay, we're getting participation trophies. Who cares?
That are costing you, tens of thousands of dollars in student debt.
Yeah, freaking underwater lesbian dance theory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
After graduating from Elmhurst University.
This
women also earn.
I remember sitting there listening, and I'm like, is she bringing up? Is she about to go through my whole life? And I was thinking about it. I'm like, she went at me for sources the whole time. What's your source for my life?
But the thing is, Pearl,
Like
is
that Wikipedia? Like,
no, you have to understand though, is she's doing that to set up the emotional argument
yeah.
to throw you off by doing that. You just
Wow.
let that roll off your back. Who gives a shit? And just drive on.
I was excited because she said I got all conference in college, and I'm like, that I did. That I did tell him.
over 60% of master's degrees. I hope to hear Pearl explain how a more educated and skilled population somehow translates to cultural decline, especially as we compete with China in this increasingly multipolar world. The modern feminist movement also had a major impact on decreasing domestic violence, and that's according to the US Department of Justice. Rates of intimate partner violence decreased by more than 60% from 1994 to 2010. And that's thanks to protective order statutes and funding for shelters beginning in the 1970s
How
and
about
80s.
lesbians?
Not only
Yeah, you should have brought up the domestic violence rates between you know,
Lesbians.
the split tails, the liver lickers.
But also,
Ooh.
crime has also declined. I don't understand how, because when I go into the cities, it seems to have increased. But according to the data, crime has decreased.
I wouldn't trust that data, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't either, but I mean, they would, right? Source.
I have seen more women in street brawls in the last 5 years, both on the internet and my personal life, than men street brawls.
And listen, man, women's street brawls, they're good because it all depends if it's a one titty or two titty fight.
Yeah.
They
I just
get
saw
interesting.
one on the internet
Yeah.
today on X. Yeah. On Austin.
Yeah.
did the two-income household become more financially resilient, especially during economic downturns, women gained the ability to leave abusive relationships, an outcome correlated with improved child health and educational attainment. A culture that protects people.
She sounds like Hillary Clinton. It's kind of what she reminds me. You think
It
she'll
is Hillary
run for office soon?
Yeah, and the argument you could have used to attack this is you just go through all the stats of the outcomes of children from single family or single mother homes. You would have totally collapsed your whole thing right there. And
Yeah.
we actually should have had those stats ready to go, and we dropped the ball on that one.
I don't know how we skipped that one.
I know.
Like we went through so much stuff.
Maybe
It's
it's because we've heard it
like-
so many times that we thought that it's stale, but honestly, it's still good. It's still a good
Yeah.
argument, if not the best. So
Yeah.
maybe it's because we thought
Isn't
it
that
was
such
stale.
a
But
beautiful nose job she has, though? Look at that beautiful nose job.
yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
yeah, she looks okay for a woman who hit the wall at 0 eggs per hour. I mean, she's like 40 now, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to go well for her.
The looks, because she kept attacking my looks, and I was just thinking, you just are not hot enough to have this big of an ego. Like it's just not. You just got to be better looking if you're going to come for me for this.
People from
Yeah.
violence is not
And if you debate another woman and she goes there, you got to go there too, man. Just chop her up from the bottom to the top.
Where's the other one? Hold on. Thank you for the $20 super chat. I appreciate it. All this stuff really helps, guys. We're really trying to get a second editor, so it's amazing.
one that's indicative of cultural decline. Pearl herself has benefited greatly from the feminist movement, thanks to Title IX in 1972, signed by Nixon, of course. Sex-based discrimination in any school program or activity that receives federal funding is
I went D3. I was just thinking about this. I'm like, I didn't even get a scholarship for volleyball. It was D3. Okay.
prohibited. Pearl herself had a rather impressive record playing for
Hell yeah, I did. We were 19th in the country, baby.
Elmhurst University's volleyball team, having earned all conference honors
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I did.
as a senior. She later pursued
And a freshman. Freshman of the year, too.
But Pearl, you got to see what she's doing is right here, she's actually wasting a lot of time bringing you into the spotlight. Instead of actually going, arguing her point, she's attacking you because she's really attempting to rattle you and bring you into the emotional fight where she will win with experience. You don't want to do that.
Look, I haven't been able to brag about my volleyball stats in a decade, Terrance.
Oh, okay.
Nobody cares. Can I have this?
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
Nobody cares about D3 vol. Just let you know. Okay. I always want to say thank you for giving a voice to men who have been beaten down by a divorce and a false allegation in family court. Anna had no counter except ad hominem attack and my volleyball record. Yes, 19th in the country for Division 3.
Professional volleyball in London.
It was semi-pro, it was professional.
She could have
I spent a lot of time on this. Let me brag, okay?
stayed in the United States and served in her role as a traditional woman, but she didn't. And she could have been the traditional chaste woman living out her dream of everything women were supposed to do before feminism. But she is neither traditional nor chaste by her own admission. While feminists would have no problem with her personal choices, she has made a career bashing women for theirs. Critics often argue that modern feminism has weakened families and resulted in a lower birth rate. They tend to dismiss empirical evidence demonstrating the insidious impact of the internet, social media on modern relationships. They also brush economic instability under the rug, despite young people citing their personal finances as the main reason why they're holding off on marriage in the
Yeah, because women spend too much money. Like I just picked Ellie up from boarding, and it was so expensive from this trip. And there's women putting their dogs in daycare in their 20s. Like, like instead of watching the dog, they put it in daycare.
Yeah.
Like the whole pickup, like in the room, was all these women with their daycare dogs. Isn't that crazy? And this is like hundreds of dollars every month.
first place. In lieu of discussing those factors, Pearl spends much of her time discouraging men from getting married in the first place. During her debate with Trent Horn, she declared that men are better off shacking up without ever getting married.
Pearl, you should have owned that right there. You should have said, yes, I do. And my stats will prove why. And then you instead of denying it, you just say, yeah, fuck yeah, it's a raw deal for men, which it is. It's totally true.
Yeah. And you got to act like she's crazy. You got to act like, hey, are you kidding me? You got to act like appalled that she would even defend marriage,
Yeah.
So,
well, do you know what it is? I always get annoyed because that really isn't what I said in that debate, but I understand, like, there's no point in going back and forth about what I just say. Yeah.
Hindsight 2020.
Yeah. All right, let me keep going.
Her reasoning? Women are too fat and STD infected.
25%, that's a lot.
You did say that. She didn't stop to think about how they contracted the STDs in the first place. Data from the National Library.
Dude, I said whoring. That was a problem. I'm too tall, so my mic was quieter than hers the first half. Yeah, so.
Of Medicine show that modern men are just as promiscuous as modern women. Men and women are in bad shape, and in the United States, we can discuss why, but feminism is not the reason.
Very good. Thank you. Nice job. Okay, Pearl, we got 5 minutes. You're going to be on the clock, and let's go.
Most debaters and commentators are elitists who tell average Americans from their ivory towers what to think and how to feel. My answer to this question not only comes from covering current events and researching the facts, data, and statistics, but also in my professional experience interviewing over 1,000 people in America and Western nations. Feminism has given women power, and power corrupts. And that's what's happening. Feminism is robbing men of their disposable income and their prime earning years. Feminism has empowered women. It has empowered women to be sexually promiscuous. Feminists say that they fought for women to not subject themselves to the approval of men. Why then are 5 to 10% of women between the ages of 18 to 25 on OnlyFans or other prostitution websites? There are more online prostitutes in America than female Walmart employees. 1 of 3 women will catch an STD at some point in their lifetime. 90% will catch HPV, which is incurable. Feminism has empowered women to abort 1/8 of the world population and 1/3 of Gen Z. Feminists have been so empowered to commit paternity fraud. Paternity fraud is unpunished in any state in the USA or any country in the West. If done correctly, a man will have to pay for a child he was fooled into believing was his until that child reaches maturity. In some states, that man will also have to pay for that kid's college. That is slavery and is forbidden under the 13th Amendment. 1/3 of paternity tests are negative by the American Association of Blood Banks. Feminism has empowered women to rob men of their time, their resources, their reputation, their children, and in the most extreme cases, their lives. They do this through child support, alimony, false allegations, and paternity fraud. How many people in this arena have a brother, a father, an uncle, or a friend who has gone through a meat grinder? Anna has been on the air for 15 years and is completely oblivious to these issues. It's a silent genocide of the lives of millions of men. Standing on the sidelines of the arena, I have 33-year combat veteran Terrance Popp. He served through 3 wars and was almost killed. He got married, had children, and served in the United States Army.
There he is. Look at that handsome man.
I'm kind of uncomfortable with that, but that's fine.
Oh, really? You didn't want to be on camera?
No, it's fine. It's all right.
Okay.
2004, and as a member of the airborne infantry, he was wounded by a roadside bomb and suffered a TBI and a stroke from the blast. He was evacuated out of the country, and it took over 2 years until he had recovered. While he was recovering, his wife was plotting to divorce him. His wife murdered his 6-year-old chocolate lab out of spite because he filed for divorce first. When he confronted her, the response he got was, "I told you I did not want you living here." At this point, he was forced to leave the marital home and live out of his car. The divorce took away his home, his children, and left him penniless and saddled with a child support payment he could not afford. Terrance had to pay $144,000 over a 12-year period for a divorce that his wife was empowered by feminists to plan and execute. Terrance went into court to fight for 50-50 custody. Terrance was called a murderer and an assassin in open court and was given 96 hours a month with his children. 96 hours a month is not a father. While homeless, he spoke to many other men who would never get off the streets due to child support arrearages and penalties, and the men constantly getting arrested for unpaid child support. The disparage of losing his children and his home, and his PTSD and constant pain from his wounds, he became suicidal. While at his post in 2008, a former commander of his came to see him to secretly say his last goodbyes. The next day, Mr. Popp's former commander put on his dress blues and went to the Holy National Veterans Cemetery and blew his brains out. Terrance Popp was notified of the death and was shocked because he was planning to commit suicide in the exact same manner. So in effect, his former commander took the bullet that was meant for him. Terrance Popp decided he would not kill himself and has spent the last 20 years saving 576 men from suicide with comedy. If you look to the left of the stage, Terrance is holding the dog tags for every life that he has saved. Now, why am I telling you this? Shout out to Terrance. Yeah. Now, why am I telling you this? Because men and American veterans are put in this position because of the empowerment that feminists like Anna have pushed for. There are millions of men that have died in this country from the political power that feminism pushes. Since 1970, an estimated 1.6 million men have committed suicide.
Time. Stop it.
If feminists cared about equality, why aren't they fighting for equality in divorce and family court as hard as they are fighting for abortion, working, or becoming sex workers? Thank you.
You were very close, very close. You did okay. You did good.
Nuke, I keep removing you, or because there's a little bit of an echo. I'm not sure why.
That's fine. I'm fixing it now.
Okay. Yeah, how do people just memorize their whole speech and look up?
Well, you got to understand though, is that's her job.
Yeah.
She does that every day, and she's been doing it, she says, for 20 years. That's a whole lot of ability to do that. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
I was thinking too, I'm like, I feel like she's closer to the podium. I was like, I need this to be a little taller. Okay.
Okay. This is going to be...
Oh my God, I don't even want to watch this. I'm going to watch it, but I don't want to watch the first half.
It's going to be a heavy one. We're going to
You'll hear me yell in the background.
Opening interrogations. We have 10 minutes. Do we have that on the clock? Yeah, it's fading in right there. Okay, and take it away. 10 minutes.
Who's interrogating who?
Whoever wants to begin.
Aside from the specific anecdote that you shared, which of course is tragic,
And
can you cite some actual studies that look at the statistics and back up what you say in regard to the outcomes of marriage and divorce in America?
So this is where
41
she's like literally trying to fuck you up right here.
Yeah.
So if you would have had it, all the stats on 2 pieces of paper where you could flip back and forth,
Yeah.
you would have been to brush her aside real easy.
This is where I realized I was effed. I realized it in this moment because I'm like, oh no.
And we talked about this, about, where's your sources? Where are your sources? Where are your sources? So
yeah,
then,
it was the sources we thought about. What I didn't think about was finding them easily in the debate. Even though I did have it like organized, it just should have been more condensed because
correct.
Yeah.
But this is experience. This is the way it is. You live and you learn.
Then later on in the debate, you're like, the debate, you're like, feminists want stats to show that the sky is blue and water is wet. So we got to get to the point where those, like, the crowd knows. Everyone has there's some stats that everybody, they're just common sense that do exactly what you just said. So like Terrance said, have those 2 pages, but have ones that like everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? That paint the picture like that.
Yeah.
% of 109 rape cases reported to police in a Midwestern city were admitted to be false by complainants.
In one Midwestern city? And which Midwestern city was that?
You should have just threw a name in there. You should have said like Minneapolis or something like that.
Yeah, because then I realized I'm like, she's just going to keep doing this no matter what I say. She's just going to keep asking me questions until I don't know the answer. And it's like, yeah. Why did I let Anna cuss you out? Why did they let her cuss me out? Like, that's my question.
But here's the thing: is as soon as she said the B word to you, you should have raised your hand and said, "What's going on here? Why is she personally attacking me?" That would have actually went in your favor quite a bit.
Yeah, I know.
You can go from your ivory tower. And
I'm not in an ivory tower. I'm on this debate stage interrogating your assertions, and you've only provided an anecdote.
Right.
Because if you look at the data, which I did, of course,
I doubt it.
Find
Girl, right here, you should have said, I want you to look at Mr. Popp and say that.
That's fine.
That would have. I know that's a little emotional. It's appeal to the emotional, right? But remember, like, bringing Terrance Popp was a really good idea, but she's trying to block it out right now, right? Because you have the guy right there, and the guy is right on her side of the stage too, staring at her. And so if you would have said, look at him and say that, and the whole crowd would have been like, because he's a veteran. You cannot dust off a veteran in public, right? She would look really bad.
You know what the worst part is? And I thought of this after. I'm like, he saved 500 men from suicide. He could tell you why they're doing it. That's a subject matter expert. And I didn't think of it till later.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
I'm like, that's a subject matter expert. I mean, no one does that, but Terrance
Because
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
almost every single one of those guys were suicidal because they lost their children and they were made homeless by the system, even if it was for a little while. I mean, when you take away a man's children, that's his purpose in life. And you take a purpose away from a man, he becomes rudderless. And you are literally just you're going to have a bad outcome if you can't get him, going in the right direction. So you're absolutely correct.
Are twice as likely to fall into poverty after divorce.
Right, because they can't
alimony
stop
is
spending.
paid out in 10% of divorces. According to the Census Bureau, the average child support payment is $441.
See there, I'm trying to find. I knew what she was doing, and I'm trying to find the page where we calculated the child support, like for the police officer. And I can't find it.
I got you.
That's
But she's talking about the average child support payment is $400.
I'm gonna bring it up.
For somebody who makes less than $25,000, that is correct. But here's the thing. If you're making $24,000 a year and they're taking, $6,000 of that away, you are literally just above the poverty line. And you could have actually brought up the PDF I sent you for, Arkansas, because they have a table. And you can go right down to $1,300 a month, which is right at poverty, the poverty line. But at $1,300 a month for 2 kids, they're still taking almost $300. So you can't keep yourself above water if you're getting less than $1,300. And that doesn't account taxes as well. Because I've talked to thousands of guys in the past 20 years, after child support and taxes, they have like $300 to live on.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. See, this is the same problem. I need to consolidate this. I'll do that for the next debate. But we calculated out like a police officer.
Yeah, if you make $5,000 a month, which is $60,000 a year, you're going to pay roughly right around $1,000.
Yeah.
In child support. So that stat she was talking about, $400, is for lower income individuals.
Yeah, just for a second. Police officer, non-senior, non-commissioned officer in the armed forces, and high school teacher with 2 kids who make $60,000 to $70,000. In Texas, we did this on the website, $1,209 a month. New York teacher, $1,007. If he has a $24,000 annual income with 2 children, we'll pay $445 a month, but it varies state by state. Some states use net income, some use gross income. For a man earning $35K or less, child support is a leading indicator in the father becoming homeless. If the father has no home, how can he see his children? The poverty line in 2025 is $15,650. That is $1,304 a month. If you look at the Arkansas child support table, you will see $1,300 a month requires $284 payments for 2 children. How is the man supposed to live? And if he can't pay, he's sent to prison. The truth is the court doesn't care and routinely sentences countless men to homelessness and then prison, and people wonder why men aren't getting married. Women can get retroactive child support. Some states can go back 10 years and turn a man into an instant felon, but in most states, it cuts off at 4 years. If a man who does not know he is the father can be dragged into court because of retroactive child support, and he can go to jail for non-payment. Think about it. A man makes $60,000 to $70,000 a year. At that income level, $1,000 a month in child support is about average. He can be dragged into court and told he now owes $48K in back child support. They'll take his passport, suspend his license, suspend any professional licenses, garnish his $1,000 child support payment, plus more to pay down the arrearages. The unpaid amount will then be assigned an interest rate on the unpaid amount. This puts many men in the position of never being able to pay off debt. In many states, this is 10%. 10% goes against the usury interest rates in many states, but they're ignored for deadbeat dads because that's what he'll be labeled.
That's absolutely correct. 100%.
You lose a lot of constitutional rights if you're a felon too, right?
Sorry, what?
You lose a couple constitutional, like you can't carry weapons if you're a felon, right?
Yeah.
So like you can't even protect yourself if you get a felony. Like you lose so much at a push. It's just a button push, and you become a third class citizen instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I started my nonprofit called Second Class Citizen.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I gotta say it from memory. I know, hindsight.
Fundamental rights you lose as a felon: voting, owning firearms, serving on a jury, and then significant barriers to employment and specific licensures for certain jobs. It's like housing, education, federal aid, all that stuff.
Security clearance done. If you can't work for anything that requires a security clearance, so there's that.
You're also barred from a lot of public office positions to elected positions. A lot of places will bar you if you have a felony. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay.
A month, and only 60%
Right, but how
of
much are
those
they
payments
making?
get paid out.
How much?
Women do not get child custody
She doesn't answer any of my
90% of the time, as you have asserted before. In
But
fact,
again, that's a tactic she was using. She ignored you, and the mic wasn't close to your face, so you couldn't be able to speak loud enough to break her rhythm.
Yeah.
5% of custody cases are mutually agreed upon outside of the courtroom. Women.
Wait, what did she just say?
She says they agree outside the courtroom, and to be honest with you, that is incorrect. You know, and we had in your stats there, women get custody roughly 80% of the time. Back when I was, doing the stats, it was 85% of the time. But it is what it is. She was reading stuff right from an AI search, I believe.
Hold on. I want to see. The 441 per month figure is a sloppy, shitty number that is derived from the raw Census Bureau data that does not reflect the complexity and variety of situations, which is why serious inquiry into the subject is done by simulated calculations, which conclude that the national average for child support payments is $721 per month. Is that closer to what you've seen, Terrance? Considerably more?
Well, if you're a middle-class guy, you're going to pay considerably more.
You don't see feminists quoting that figure. It varies state by state. For instance, the average child support paid per month in Massachusetts, according to these more rigorous calculations, is $1,187 a month. So no, women aren't hard done in divorce court. And yes, plenty of men get financially raped and threatened with jail while being reduced to paying spectators in their kids' lives. And last I checked, women were capable of getting a job or filing welfare paperwork. You wanted sole custody of your kids, you can pay it yourself.
Yep, handle your shit.
Okay, the next part.
Get full custody 40% of the time. Men do get full custody 20% of the time. And 40% of the time, it's shared custody, which I think is the ideal.
Anna's next shrill rant after asking you a question, then not letting you answer. Only 60% of court mandated child supportive payout. She took a lowball figure. It's more like 70%. And I think this is for the next one. Hold on.
Situation, assuming that neither spouse is abusive.
And Pearl, excuse me, before you respond, if you could take your microphone out and hold it, it would be easier to hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
Again, the microphone thing, they're going to fix that. This is just growing pains. Not a big deal.
Yeah. I just meant like this is the part of my head where I'm like, I can't find anything. Cooked.
It's all right. You live and you learn.
Yeah.
Alimony and medical care and dental are not covered by that. So a lot of times it does go above 50%.
Which is true.
You can go through the facts, the data, and the statistics and manipulate them any way that you want.
It's not
But
manipulation.
there are
Those are the
1.6
stats.
million. There are 1.6 million men in this country. Men are 9 times more likely to commit suicide after a divorce.
Compared to women, what's the number for women?
It's
All right,
lower.
so there you go.
Really? What is
there
it?
she is. This is a common tactic they do. They're like, what about women? You're quoting men. You should have said, I don't really care about the women numbers. I'm talking here on the damage feminism done to men.
Yeah.
And then you would have shut her way down. Then she would have had to fall back on some emotional arguments, and you could have said, I'm not gonna like mud wrestle with you in the pool of emotional bullshit. There you go.
Yeah.
But hindsight's 20/20, so it's all good.
No, you're right. That's a good answer.
Comparative analysis is real difficult for you. Is
Like,
Let's see, there's a personal attack right there.
I'm like, oh, I know this is where I kind of I just hate it when people talk to me like this.
Okay, you were getting flustered. It happens. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You'll live and you'll learn. And now we know we're going to have somebody who we're going to have to do a rehearsal before you do this again, on a podium with people actually firing questions at you so you can get a feel for it.
At least we know her strategy now, right? Her strategy is, hey, where did you get that stat? Where did you get that stat? Where did you get that? And the thing is, she can keep asking you that until you have no answer. So you have to cut that off early, like as soon as you can. Speak loudly into the mic and be like, either call her crazy or something for not because she's gonna keep going. She's gonna keep pulling that string. So where did you get this? Where did you get that? She could spend the whole debate making you look like you don't know where you got your stats, even though you do know. But it's such a cheap tactic. It's like it's like a $1 fucking attack, and it's
if
cheap.
you do it, and if you do debate again, you're probably never gonna debate Anna again, because she'd be an idiot to step in there and do it again twice.
One of the debaters has obviously not been properly taken care of in too long, and it wasn't you, Pearl. What did you? Okay. No comment. Pearl should have brought her guitar. Nobody likes getting hit with a hurled guitar. That's what I was thinking during the debate. I'm like, the only reason you can talk like this is because there's security right there. I could beat your ass. Like, I am a tall woman.
We all think like that. And you should actually take some boxing lessons, Pearl. You'd be good at it.
You know what? I got offered a bunch of money to debate an OnlyFans girl, and I turned it down because I just felt like I make money with my face.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, what if they ruin it?
Are you talking about fighting an OnlyFans girl?
She went to box OnlyFans girl.
Aiden Ross wanted me to go on his stream and like box somebody.
No, don't do that. But take boxing lessons just in case you need to do it.
What's your next question?
You have asserted that men shouldn't get married, that instead they should
I didn't
shack
say
up.
that.
You did say that.
See, you should have owned it. You should have owned it right there. Said, yes, I did. Because it's a raw fucking deal for men.
Yeah,
Boom.
that's what I was saying. I said you should have said that it's a bad deal for men.
Yeah.
Because I say it on my show all the time that I'm trying to bring the marriage rates to 0. Because so many people get fucked up getting married, and the way the laws are, man, the dude gets crucified.
Yeah.
There's no good argument for a man to get married.
For them to.
But Terrance, I love her, man.
Yeah, I love her.
I love her, man.
People should never do. You get out of here,
Terrance. If a guy wants to do it anyway, what would you tell him to do with his money?
Well, number one, he needs to take serious steps to hide his assets, and like if he had a lot of money, he could have a professional set up like 2 or 3 tiers to hide his income, and then he could have an offshore bank account just in case it goes south. He can literally just transfer it out of the country, and there's really nothing they could do about it.
So you'd say an offshore bank account is the best.
That's like the last thing. But my asset protection skills are long since degraded because the laws have changed. So if you really have a lot of money and you want to protect your assets, you need to hire a professional.
I'm surprised Pearl wasn't turned into stone by looking at Anna. Gorgons can turn you to stone with just one stare.
Yep.
Argument for men to get married is the same argument as playing the lottery. When you win, it's awesome, but the odds suck.
Oh yeah, they do.
Shack up, live with a girlfriend instead of getting married. Do you think the
Here.
advice that you give to men?
Right here, I mean, you could have said what changes.
Yeah.
Between having a living girlfriend and a wife, what changes? You know, what changes if I don't decide to do the $20,000 ceremony and hand over my life to the state and to her whims?
Nuke,
You know,
it's 35,000 now. They just had an article out as saying the average of American
yeah,
wedding for 35,000.
it's crazy. Like what really changes here? So, and no one has an answer for that because really, what women want is the status. They want to be able to flex on their friends and to tell other women that they're married so they can be the cool girl out of the group. But
And
there's
they want-
there's nothing in it for you as a man, really.
And they
nothing.
want the bag. They want the option if they are not happy to fire up the Bermuda Triangle, which is their vagina, run a whole force to cock through it, and take half your shit and make you look like an idiot.
Yeah. That was an easy one. Let's be honest. That was an easy one, but you know,
Yeah,
I
just
thought
it's just
2020.
lack of experience. That's all that was.
Yeah.
And
You have the bright lights in your face. You know, I wouldn't have done. I would have did a lot worse than Pearly did. I'm not even joking around. I would have did a lot worse.
What would you have done?
Do you know the worst part about it for me is at least you freeze up. Like when I get nervous, I mean I have a stutter anyway, so I would have been like a stuttering freaking idiot this whole time, dude. You did a lot better than I would have done it. Situation leagues better. Oh my God.
Oh, I thought you meant like you'd get mad and start screaming at her or something.
Well, yeah. You know, I would have got angry, but you know, me getting angry, I told you I get incoherently with my speech impediment when I get all messed up. At least you went quiet, so.
Is the type of advice that will fulfill their lives. Because I'll tell you one thing, the best part of my life is my husband. I love my husband. He's my rock. He's my foundation.
There, I'm looking for the stats again. I'm like,
And no, my husband is number one. I love my career, but you know what my career did? When I met my husband, my career was already established. He, on the other hand, was couch surfing. He was in debt and didn't know what he wanted to do with his life. I married him anyway. You want to know why? Because I had the economic freedom to marry for love, not for some
stop it right there
Chad.
real quick. So this part right here, I kind of pity Anne for saying this because this is going to have negative ramifications in her life down the road. And this was so stupid for her to talk like this about her current husband. I literally I was out in the fucking stands just going, I can't fucking believe she's doing this. I mean, that dude's going to be he's going to be breakdancing in his grave 50 years after he dies because of what she did right there.
like he's going to be embarrassed.
He'll be all right.
Yeah, no. I wasn't sure if you were going down the route if he could put her on alimony or something, because that would be hilarious.
He actually could.
That would be honestly, that would be the funny. Like, imagine if she got put on alimony.
but the thing is to a man, honor and respect are right at the very top of priorities for that individual, especially if he's a masculine man. And if you're going to step on a man's honor and respect or disrespect him like that, that is not a good thing for any dude.
30,000 people were watching her say, "Hey, my husband was a couch surfing loser." You know, she could have worded it differently. That's the thing. She could have worded it like, "Hey, I supported his dreams when he wasn't able to." And that would have been nicer, but she had to use the words couch surfing, like some kind of college kid, weed addicted college kid that doesn't know what to do with his life.
And he was a former professional athlete. So she didn't like he was actually, that's a pretty big accomplishment. So she could have framed it like he just retired from his career, you know, his very successful career. And he was, you know, but she said couch surfing loser, basically.
I think she was trying to appeal to the men in the crowd by saying like, "Hey, we love you at any way. Well, we know that's not true. So
To take care of me.
How tall is he?
Oh, he's 6'1", about your height. None. I don't want kids.
I don't-
Let's
Why
not
don't-
do shouting questions from there, please.
Okay. How does the crowd get moderated? But she could say whatever she. All right.
Allow these two to debate each other.
Okay, what's your question?
I mean, you don't really have much to answer, so I don't know what else to ask you. Do you think you're helping men by discouraging them from entering fulfilling marriages?
What happens to men if they don't pay child support?
I mean,
What happens? What happens, Anna?
how many men do you think get
What
arrested?
happens to
I don't know
men
what the
when they
number
don't
is,
get-
but the
What
idea that
happens
there's
to
like a
men when
huge
they
number
don't-
of men getting arrested for not doing what they're supposed to do
15%.
and take care of their children, it's not a huge issue.
What happens to men when they don't
Really,
pay child support?
only
You
60%
gotta-
of child
hold on,
support
Anna.
payments
You
get
gotta
paid
allow
out.
her to- you got to allow her to interrogate you, not them. You got to stop yelling questions
Look,
at her.
You can minimize men's problems all you want, but I don't think you understand how privileged of a position you're in.
In what way? How am I privileged?
Men are the ones that are on the hook for child support. Men are the ones that are on the hook for alimony. It's easy for you to tell men to just take the risk when you're not in that position.
So are you asserting that men shouldn't pay child
Men-
support following a divorce?
Again, here she
You
is doing
believe
the
that women
emotional
should
shit
be-
right there. She's trying to bait you into an emotional argument. You literally should have said, yes, I am, because it should be 50-50 custody.
Yeah.
Feminism has won. I'm going to give you the same answer I would give a man. Handle your shit.
Yeah.
And you would have shut her down
That-
right there on the
Damn
spot.
it. That would have been such a good. Yeah, you're right.
this is what you wanted.
What?
Yeah, she said, "This is what you wanted. You win." You know, like you did in the obviously the second half, but you should have said, "Hey, you wanted to be, you wanted this, you wanted that. Just remember that everything you want, there's a price, and this is the price. And you keep looking away from the price, and the price is men suffering. So you got what you wanted, but men have to suffer. That's it."
And also remember, a divorce and alimony, it comes from a woman making the decision to leave. She has to make the decision to leave to initiate all of this craziness. It's based upon the woman's choice. If she can sack up and leave an abusive relationship, she can deal with everything that comes along with it.
Yeah.
Well, 100% after
Feminists
divorce.
wanted to be equal. So I say be equal. If you guys want equality, 50-50 custody, no child support, no alimony, no special privileges.
Alimony is paid out in 10%
It doesn't
of
matter if
divorces.
you're part of the
It does matter.
10%.
It does matter because you make
doesn't
it
matter
seem
if you're part
like
of the 10%.
it's a widespread issue when
The
it's
tender
only
years
10%.
doctrine is a sexist law against men. That's sexist.
How is it sexist
Where-
if a
where have you
woman
guys- it
decided
assumes-
to
it
forego a
assumes that-
career, decided to be a stay-at-home mother?
It's like
Again,
you're
she's,
not letting me talk. Like
I know, but the thing is, she's going back to the emotional thing, and you should have said, if a man decides to be like, you should. Oh, this would have been great. You could have said, so you're telling me if your stay-at-home couch surfing husband decided to divorce you, he wouldn't get alimony?
Oh my god, why did I
Yeah.
think of that? That would have been so
Yeah.
funny.
You know, this
So
whole
you're
time,
good. I should say, so you're good with paying alimony if your husband leaves you. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
you literally
but-
could have flipped it on her.
but this whole time she's framing it like these relationships happen to women and breakups happen to them. They are deciding to leave. This whole thing could have been summed up. Women are what did Kevin Samuels say? Oh, are wrecking their homes, and they don't want to deal with the consequences and the outcomes of wrecking their homes. They're home wreckers who don't want to deal with the consequences.
yeah.
And the marriage doesn't work out. She has no job. She has no
Doesn't work
income.
out.
So you think it's unfair to get support from her ex-husband so she can raise the kids? So she can pay.
60% of kids under 5 have daycare. Daycare is an option now. You wanted to be men.
Do you know how much daycare costs?
You wanted to be men. Here you
Do you know how
have
much
it.
You gotta
daycare
let her
costs?
answer.
Do you think
You're
it's
not
free?
letting her answer. Let her answer.
A lot of things are expensive, Anna. I mean, it's
That's-
men.
That's not an answer.
Women have 85% of consumer spending. Women spend money all the time. You spend money on hair dye, you spend money on Botox, you spend
She's got
money.
a nose
You should
job
think
right
about
here.
it.
I shouldn't have pivoted to there. I should have just said you want to be equal. That was like a bad rabbit hole to go down. Oh, did you see that, bitch? Hold on.
Alimony is paid out in 10%
It doesn't
of
matter if
divorces.
you're part of the
It does matter.
10%.
It does matter because you make
doesn't
it
matter if
seem
you're
like
part of the 10%.
it's a widespread issue when
The
it's
tender
only
years
10%.
doctrine is a sexist law against men. That's sexist.
How is it sexist if a
where have you
woman
guys-
decided
it assumes
to forego a
that-
career, decided to be a stay-at-home mother, and the marriage doesn't work out? She has no job, she has no income. So you think it's unfair to get support from her ex-husband so she can raise the kids, so she can pay?
60% of kids under 5 have daycare. Daycare is an option now. You wanted to be men.
Do you know how much daycare costs?
You wanted to be men. Here
Do you know how much
You
daycare
gotta let her
costs?
answer.
Do you think
You're
it's
not
free?
letting her answer. Let her answer.
A lot of things are expensive, Anna. I mean, it's
That's-
men.
That's not an answer.
Women have 85% of consumer spending. Women spend money all the time. You spend money on hair dye, you spend money on Botox, you spend money.
You should
on
think
the-
about it.
On the
Oh, there you go. Another personal attack.
See, I thought that you were gonna go for her nose job right there.
I forgot about it. I get.
See, that's what I'm saying. How did she win the don't personal attacks deduct points?
Of course not. It's like.
So then why don't you just guys call each other ugly for 30 minutes? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the rules here?
And I could tell that you were just like, because I could see a look on your face. You're like, are we really gonna go here? Are we really gonna go there? And I can see you kind of contemplating, confused that she was literally attacking you and just going low like that.
Well, I was waiting for the moderator to tell her to stop, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
Again, this is growing pains. They'll get better. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling so they can get more views, they want to allow a certain amount of personal attacks, which you know, it's all good to go. It is what it is. But you would have actually
be paid.
Yeah.
What?
You would have
gotta
actually
pay
served
bills.
yourself pretty good if you said, "What's up with the personal attacks, Anna?"
I know. I should have been more prepared in that way, but I don't know. Of course, you don't want kids. You're too old anyway. That's what you should have said. Okay. Women make poor choices. Pure happenstance. Men must save her. Women imposes failure on men entirely his fault. He must pay patriarch my butt. Okay.
I sure am.
You spend money all of the time.
Yep.
So you wanted to be men. Here it is. You're equal. Pay for daycare.
There you go.
Equality means that when you have a child or children, you're both responsible. So the
Right.
idea that the woman should take 100% of the costs on herself without any help from her husband or ex-husband is ridiculous. How is that fair?
Well, how is it fair that he doesn't get 50-50 custody?
Well,
There you go.
First of
Yes.
all,
It's
why
50.
are you asserting that they
You
don't?
See how she,
It's
you see how she
50%.
paused
then-
right there?
Why
That was perfect. You see how she paused and she was like, first of all, and then she had to like say something else. You see how you just got her with some. And the thing is, it's the easy stuff that gets these women, right? It's never like some weird stat. It's always like logic, like, hey, if you want 50-50, then why don't you give me 50% of the custody? Men are happy. We'll cut the lawn while carrying the baby. We'll work in the shed while carrying the baby. We don't mind. So why not give us 50-50? And right there, she just tripped herself up. It's perfect.
And also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to just read the super chat really quick and I'll let you go. Pearl, you didn't take an L. You cooked her. Anna is a child. Thank you. Go ahead, Doug.
We got to figure out a way to address this whole fair thing. If anyone else brings up fair, we got to there's no expectation of fairness in the world of men. Like,
Yeah,
men don't expect things to be fair. Women want to be happy at work. They want things to be fair. I keep telling you, feminism, life is not fair for a man. So equality is women advocating for their lives to be as unfair for them as it is for men.
Kenny have 50% custody. Where
There
have
was a
feminists
study.
been? I've been
Let
on
me answer your
20
question, even though I
different-
should be interrogating you. I'll answer your question. Massive study out of Massachusetts.
See, it's like
here we
again, I try to talk and they don't let me go. Or like that's it. Like, what am I supposed to do if like I'm against somebody and they're just like they just keep interrupting me? Like what? Like
Look at the moderator and just like do a hand gesture, like, "Hey, am I?" You know,
Can I
would
speak or
say
what?
do this.
yeah, can
Yeah.
I? So I should have just drew more attention to it instead of just like giving up. Basically, instead of just
Yeah,
saying fine, go. I should have just drew more attention to it.
Yeah,
I would have done the. I would
or-
have looked at the moderator and been like, "Yo, like, hey, can you do your job? Like, can you fix this? Because it's obviously not part of the debate, you know."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Karen Straw, Paul Elam, Kevin Samuels could have given you better ammunition. MGTOW is the only way to stay safe. Do you know what? I had ammunition. I just kind of choked a little bit, so it is what. Like
You would have
went through
done
a lot of
way
it.
better if you just had all of the stats on 2 pages
Yeah.
that you could flip back and forth between.
Yeah.
That looked at 24,000 divorces. In those 25 divorces, they found that in only 8% of cases did men ask for custody.
Wait, let me look at the. Hold on. Only 8%. Oh, yeah, because men don't ask for custody because they know they're going to lose. Because it's like they know. Yeah.
This goes back to that narrative
Right.
where women ask men, "Why didn't you fight for your children?" The person making you fight and costing you money is asking you why you didn't fight for your children.
Anna goes on the claim women get full custody 40% of the time. She's using a lowball figure from a sample taken in Wisconsin in 2008. Other data suggests full custody up to 80% of the time, with most data around 50 to 60% female full custody for all the custody agreements, not just those decided in court. It varies year by year and jurisdiction by jurisdiction. In custody battles in court, it's awarded to the mother 80 to 85 or 85 to 90% of the time. Men get full custody 28% of the time is hilarious. In converse to the low ball figure for women, she rounds up to the standard figure for men in the census data. So she's picking and choosing and manipulating her numbers. The point is to make female full custody as innocently uncommon as possible, even though she can only beat it down to 40% and male custody to seem as common as possible. 40% of the time it's shared custody. Nah, you almost have to cut that in half. In all custody agreements, including those out of court, it's 20 to 25%. 40% is pure bullshit. Her intern just did the sloppy math from the previous 2 figures. Anna implies shared custody is 50-50, when in fact the 20 to 20% of the time it can be 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. So not even quite the ideal situation.
Yeah. Is it me or is Pearl like froze?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pearl's frozen. She'll come back, I guess.
All right. I thought maybe it was my system going crazy.
Well, guys, if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Nuclear Cadillo's channel, and I'm going to put Terrance Popp's channel in there. Subscribe to these guys and support, because they did a really good job in helping Pearl get ready. We got her to the point where she said that she's ready, and that's the best she can do. And on to the
All I
next
did
one.
was moral support. It was all you guys, Doug and Terrance. So I'm just there to. I just wanted to see you guys. I just wanted to hang out. So.
And guys, once again, Anna's where she is because of Cenk Uygur. If it wasn't for him, most of these women built their platforms off of the back of a man, and Pearl hasn't done that. She's doing this with a small team of people, and she's learning as she goes.
When did I stop talking? Because I didn't my internet went out and I didn't notice. When did you guys when did I
It was like 2 or 3 minutes back.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was reading this whole thing. Okay, well, the stats she gave about custody were really off, basically, is what I was reading. So yeah, it's not that high, but let me just keep going. Okay.
Because the average American can't afford divorce fees, Anna.
But women
It
can
costs
afford to raise the
$25,000 to
children
get a
by themselves
divorce.
without support from the ex-husband. How does that make sense?
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
You're complaining about the costs while simultaneously arguing that a woman should not get child support in order to raise the children that the former couple had together.
Are you guys equal or not?
There you go.
Equality means that you're both responsible for raising the children, and that includes the costs
So you should have
of raising
equality,
the children.
but not at the expense of men. 50-50 custody, 50-50, no child support, no alimony. That's equality. You don't want
alimony
equality.
makes sense if the woman was a stay-at-home mother and doesn't have a source of income. How
No,
else would
it-
she take care of the kids following a divorce?
By getting a job just like the men.
Yeah. There you go.
So you're saying that a woman who doesn't have recent job history is just going to willy-nilly enter the job force or workforce, I should say, and easily get hired? Do you guys care about this? So do you care about the children or not?
There
See
we
that
go.
right there. That right there. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it.
The poor ex-husband who doesn't want to pay the child support, doesn't want, to take on any of the responsibilities of having children in the first place. Why is it that you seem to have a problem with men carrying out their responsibilities? But when it comes to
men are dying to care about their responsibilities. Men
Really?
are fighting to be a part of their kids' lives.
what's the empirical data on that?
See, there
I
you
don't
see what I'm
need
saying?
data. How many
Again, that's
people in here
bullshit.
have had a family or a friend fight for their kid and not be able to get it? The reason that this happens, Anna, is because lawyers tell them not to fight because it's so expensive and they won't win.
What is
They
that
won't
based on?
win.
You have to provide. Look, Pearl, I am open
Okay,
to
this is now she's being condescending here. And she's being condescending, and that, in my opinion, it's very disrespectful. And again, this all could have been rectified with these 2 pages of all the stats, so you can easily. So yeah, and I mean, of the whole first half of the debate, this is the actual worst part for you right here.
And honestly, anytime, I mean, this could have turned into a where are your stats? Where are your stats? Where are your stats? But you kept going. You could have turned this into both of you two questioning each other's stats and not getting anywhere, but you kept going with your argument, looking for your stats.
I think it was effective as a guide to keep framing it as grow up, because every time you had like a grow up moment, like, hey, 50-50, that means that doesn't mean you get to take my money. And if it's 50-50, right? Whenever you appeal to a sense of maturity, she seems to trip up. So I guess if you ever get into the ring with a woman like her or her, always appeal to that side, because that kills feminists right there. Because to them, they cannot conceptualize, hey, part of being an adult is that there's consequences, and 50-50 means 50-50, and that's it.
Well, and the other thing too is they want more power. That's why they keep going to data. It's because they don't want you to believe what you see and what's happened to you. They want to be the arbiters of your reality. And so they get these like feminist bullshit studies to just back up whatever they want.
Yeah, that's why we stayed in COVID, locked down in COVID and screwed over, but because everyone believes the scientists, and turns out they were wrong. They were so wrong that they put people on ventilators, and that killed them.
Only the clout chasers and harlots thought Anna won. Well, yeah, so.
But I need more than anecdotes. I need more than vibes and feelings, because we're talking about something serious here. We're talking about raising children. We're talking about the shared responsibility of raising children. That, of course, includes
90%
the cost.
of disputed custody goes to women. That's not equal.
90%. That's a totally made up statistic. Where are you citing that from?
There she is again.
There it is right
that
there.
Bullshit.
All right, let's take a break there because our time actually ran out.
What are you supposed to do?
Those opening interrogations are over.
Yep.
Let's take a moment here. You guys want to grab a sip of water? All right. The next step is going to be 30 minutes. We're going to open it up.
Oh, this was the rough part,
I
right?
was
So
a little. I was
This
a
was
little.
way too much time. Way too much time.
I was a little confused too because I was supposed to cross-examine her and do my questions, and I'm
Yeah, with 10
realizing now
minutes.
I'm realizing now they skipped it, and I don't know how I didn't realize it at the time. Keep it up, Pearl. Proud of you. Finding a virtuous woman is hard. No such thing. Doesn't exist.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll save you some time. Like, trust no women, not even me.
Again, open debate. I'd remind you guys, I know everyone's passionate about this. I get that, but we can't have multiple people debating at the same time, right? We got one debater here. We got one debater here. Let's keep it here. All right. Let's put 30 minutes on the clock and let's begin the open debate. Pearl, I'll let you pick up here. Go ahead.
What happens to men when they don't pay child support?
There are consequences for it, especially when
Which
there's a
are?
court order for them to
Which
carry
are?
out their responsibility and pay child support so that child can be raised.
And what happens
Do you
if they
think
don't
there
pay
shouldn't
it?
be legal responsibilities or legal consequences if they fail to carry out a court order to, take care of their kids?
I've interviewed men that have paid millions of dollars in
Don't
child
care about your
support and
interviews.
they're-
Anecdotal evidence doesn't matter. What I need is actual.
Why did she mention her husband? Then why did she mention her husband earlier? Because that's an
Correct.
anecdote. And also, again, this is whenever she fights the anecdote thing, just out. I know it's a cheap trick, but tell that to that man right there, sitting down. But I don't know if Terrance Popp would have been comfortable with that, but it's a cheap trick, but she's using cheap tricks too,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're just seeing a difference in experience here. Like Anna is used to talking in front of the camera and is, like the professional at this. You're not.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
I think I'm gonna freeze soon. I'll eat it. I think it's coming up. Sorry. Go ahead, Terrance.
It's okay. I'm done. It's all good.
Sorry. Okay.
Statistic, empirical evidence. They should pay their child support. $441
What happens-
is the average child support payment. $441 a month.
Yeah, that's for someone that makes $24,000 a
You
year.
just told me a
Exactly.
woman could
That's exactly right.
just go to work and take care of the kids totally by herself.
50% of the time. Yeah.
Paying $500 a month on $24,000 a year.
You think $500 a month is too much in child support? Do you know?
Like, what the fuck is wrong with this woman? Like, sorry. Go ahead.
So like high average in states, the average child support payment in Massachusetts is $1,187 a month. In Nevada, it's $1,146. In Rhode Island and New Hampshire, it's $1,000 a month. So tell that to the guys in Massachusetts paying $1,100 on average.
And
I
we
mean,
should have had those stats ready to go for you.
Yeah. Do you know what? No, the worst part is we did, but I knew, like, you see, I stopped, like, kind of looking. I'm just like, I don't know where it is. That's why I came better at the halftime, because I got rid of all the paper I didn't need. And then I just pulled we pulled the pages that I needed.
Yep.
And we ripped those motherfuckers out.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Like that. Screw that.
You know what I should have did? All right, what would you guys think of this play if I said, look, I'm at, like, this packet, I messed up. Can I go fix it really quick? And I'll come back with your statistics. If I pulled that and asked for an early intermission, do you think that would have been better or worse than what happened? Because that went.
That would have been worse.
I think it was good that you stayed there the whole time. I mean, you look flustered, but you stood there with 10 toes down, and people always respect that. Always.
Yeah, you did good. I mean, you got caught flat-footed. It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
How much it costs to raise a child? Do you know
Look.
how much childcare costs, for instance? I mean, that mother has to go to work, right? Where's the kid going to stay while that mother is working? How is she going to pay for the
What happens to men when they don't
daycare.
pay child support?
Sorry, say that again.
What happens to men when they don't pay child
I've
support?
been asking the same question.
There are legal
But she's not answering the-
repercussions for
the
not
basic
carrying out
answer.
a court
Okay.
mandate
Do you think
to
that
do something.
Do you think that fraud should be illegal?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There you
So
go.
why is it not illegal for women to fraud men on paternity? If a man does not find out he's the father over the age of 2, he is on the hook for child support for 18 years.
I don't know
Where
what the
have you
law
been on
is
this
when it
issue?
comes to
A
that,
third-
but it's
a-
wrong. If you're lying about paternity, that is wrong, and there should be legal
Well,
consequences
why
for
haven't
that.
feminists fought?
It's that simple.
Then why aren't feminists fighting for it, Anna?
Because feminists fight for women, obviously.
Right.
Boom, there you
That's
go.
my point.
There
At
you-
the expense of men.
Yes.
You got her so good right there. And you could have followed it up with an uppercut saying, "See what I mean?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Right there. I don't honestly. Again, I don't think you did as bad as you think you did. It's just so much time, and I think you were on defense here, but you were holding your own. I think you did all right here. Personal. I'm biased, but
Yeah.
Are
but-
you?
But,
Yeah, just a little bit.
the thing is that what made you look bad is you didn't have the stats on hand to
Yeah.
to come back in a reasonable amount of time. And it's not a bad thing if you look at papers during a debate. It's not a bad thing. It is like I would have to look at a bunch of papers because my memory is shit after I got my fucking bucket blown up in Iraq in 2004.
You guys want to believe women at the expense of men. Why isn't Amber Heard in jail? Because of the Me Too movement. You guys push believing all rape victims, and now we have rape.
Amber
now
Heard
Am-
had to pay
Johnny-
out a
Johnny-
massive
Let her
settlement.
continue her thing.
Yeah,
She
but why
actually
isn't
didn't.
she in jail?
You want her in jail?
Yes.
Well,
That was
ruined
me.
The
I was like,
penalties for defamation
See, I
are
like that 'cause
what
there was
the
conviction.
court's decision is.
See what
right?
she did
you
there?
want people to go to
I love the conviction there. It was great conviction. Yes. See what I'm saying? Like you're finally catching up. It was almost like you flipped her up because she's trying to see if you're gonna say something mean and like not mean it or something, but you said yes, I mean it. And then I like conviction is very
And-
important in debates.
Coming up here, you see how she switched it from false accusations to defamation. At the end of this, you bring it back to false accusations, and I was so happy that you did that. Watch, here it comes.
prison for
Go ahead.
defamation.
He
See
had to
that?
go to 2 different countries to clear his name. Why
okay.
isn't she in jail? He lost millions of dollars.
To be clear, you think the penalty for defamation is prison time?
I think the penalty for a false accusation is that the woman should get the same time that he would have gotten if he was found guilty.
Men don't go to
Boom.
prison
There it
for
is.
defamation.
Boom.
There it is.
Men don't go to prison for defamation. What the fuck is wrong with this? Sorry.
Yeah. I almost jumped out of my chair when you said that. I was like, yes.
And see, this is the problem with feminists. You want all these freedoms, but you won't actually be equal.
I do
Be
want
equal.
equality.
No, if you wanted to be
It's
equal,
just-
you would fight for 50-50 child support, no alimony.
No
yeah,
alimony.
about yourself.
Yeah, you got stumbled up
So
there a little
again, if a woman decided to forego
Yeah, I went blank. I don't know what happened.
bit. And again, she
working-
pulls back on the women. Again, this is an argument like women are inferior and they raise the kids, and it's the dude's fault for not paying. You stuck to your guns on that one, and she literally keeps going back to that same fucking bullshit. I'm getting worked up here. I got to stop swearing.
Swear. I mean, this is my shit. You can go. You can swear all you want.
decided to stay home to raise the children and the marriage doesn't work out, she's got no income whatsoever, she
Well,
doesn't
number
deserve
one,
any
women aren't
alimony.
even doing that. Number one, that's not even women are not staying home with the kids. And number two, you have
No,
daycare.
a lot of women
You
do
have-
these days,
you have
actually.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Traditional
Again.
women who want to stay home, they want to be traditional wives. You trash them all the time, which I don't understand.
If
It
feminists
seems like
cared
women
about
can't do anything
equality,
right when it
look,
comes to you, right?
If
They're
feminists-
stay-at-home moms, they're
if-
traditional, they're
I understand.
You see what she's doing? She's
personally-
badgering you and
not
keeping
personally
it going
attacking
to
you.
an emotional fucking argument.
And
That's exactly what she was doing.
Think about it is what she's doing right now hasn't been done to you on your pregame show and stuff. It was just this environment. Like, I think that once you get used to this environment, you can come back at at female debaters like you used to come back at these stupid ass women that used to infest your
Yeah.
apartment in London.
Man, a quick response would have been like, "Slow down, Anna. Slow down." You know, make like accuse her of like, "Hey, you're starting to speak fast. Slow down, Anna. I'm not done." That would have
There
been.
you
Yeah, like Andrew
But, you
Wilson, stop spurging, stop spurging.
Well, that's why I think the second half she stopped because I started saying she was nagging.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
This type of nagging
Or-
drives
or-
men to
But
suicide.
Pearl, on your show, when these feminists come out, you always say you'll mute him and be like, "Now she's crashing out." You could use that too. Here comes the crash out. There it is. There's the crash out.
Here
You know,
we go.
I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I think that, like, if I was a guy, and you guys can tell me as guys, if you had to get cheated on once a month or come home to nagging every day, but she still sleeps with you whenever you want, I think most men would take a little infidelity over nagging. I think as long as there's still like the kids are yours and stuff, I'm like, because this nagging would, oh my God.
So I would just divorce her.
Well, I'm just saying, no, there's a gun to your head. That's why it's a hypothetical. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. My dog wants to go outside. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to play it. I'm going to let you guys for a second. Okay.
These are things that you have said on the record multiple times.
But if you cared about equality, you would care about false accusations. You would
I do
care
care
about
about
correct.
false accusation.
No, you
Yep.
don't.
You don't know me. What, you don't know what I care about.
You see that right there?
Look, all right. Let's talk about rights that men do not have. Men do not have the right to be enlisted in selective service. You know, we have 125K men who were drafted and buried overseas. Think about that over a second. You talk about the oppressions of the past, but how many men died in World War I and World War II and had no choice? And yet Anna complains about oppression. Men
gotta
do not have
rethink
the
our
right to
foreign
face
policy.
their accuser in court when they have a false allegation and for personal protection orders that strips constitutional rights away from the man. Women go before a judge and say they don't feel safe, and more than likely a PP order will be issued. The man was not in court, had no say, has no defense, and does not get to face his accuser. That is done en masse, and many servicemen and first responders lose their careers over this because it strips a man's Second Amendment rights away based on no evidence. Men
Where are
do
you
not have
getting
the
that
right to
information
raise
from?
their children. Divorce is no fault.
You
but
see
when
how
it comes
Pearl
to
kept
child
going right there?
custody,
Yeah.
You see that? That's every time that she questioned, she just kept on walking right past it because you're doing it right here and it's perfect.
I was shot in the head and forced to be a stay-at-home dad. Our sons were 9 and an infant. I did it for 5 years, and it was the easiest job I ever had. When the kiddos went to school, it was cake. Women are exaggerating how difficult it is.
We talk about this all the time. They catastrophize everything. Like men just
Catastrophize. I got to write that down.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
it's hard to say catastrophe.
Look at
I
the
gotta say
brains
it
on
slowly,
Nuke. Look at the brains on Nuke.
And
No, I got it from Ryan Stone, but you guys get the idea. Like when
No, that's a good
a
one.
man
man.
will be
That's going in the book.
when a man has to take care of the kids, he has a list, and instead of like, okay, they gotta play, they like Peppa Pig, they gotta get they go to bed at 7, this is their favorite food, boom, 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 done, 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 right?
Yep.
And it's just like easy, right? It's almost like a dog, but that can talk to you. For women, it's just like the chicken isn't cut to the way they like it. What am I gonna do? And they freak out over like small things like that. So
do you know what I was thinking? I think women are just so retarded that we do things in the most inefficient way possible. And so like what would take a guy like 2 hours to like do stuff for the kids takes women 5. You know, because we're just
we have to remind women to drink water.
Who do you have to? I don't think that's a true thing.
In the Army, it is.
You know, yeah, in the Navy, we had a Navy chief pass out because he didn't drink water, and that's all we talked about for like 2 weeks, and we made fun of him because he passed out in the engine room.
There
And
you
I'm
go.
like, yeah, that's important. So
That's why, guys.
That's our
Sorry, go ahead.
BFs. Leftist brand is kindness. You got her to drop her mask. This is not a real win. Not talking points. Well, I don't know. I mean, she won the debate. Like, I mean, they did
That's why.
the winner. So
That's why it always makes me laugh when women assume that a woman can be a single mother, but a man can't be a single father. They're like, oh, I don't know how a man could be able to get everything a single mother gets done. Men will do it a lot easier, a lot more efficient, and a lot better.
hold on. Now my dog is to be let in. 1 second.
Always the man's fault. He loses his children to the system. 96 hours a month the father does not make. Men have longer prison sentences. Women get a third of the time for the same crime. Where are the feminists fighting for equality on that issue? There has been rampant discrimination against better qualified men in hiring across multiple industries. Men pay more child support, and child support orders are not enforced at the same rates between men and women. Women are more likely
women pay
not
child
to
support.
pay
Fascinating.
and are
You see
prosecuted
how she keeps
for
going? You see
non-payment
this?
at lower rates. Men cannot opt out of parenthood. Men have very few domestic violence shelters and are not taken seriously when they're domestic violence victims.
I agree on that. I do
White
agree
men
on
in
that.
particular are discriminated against when it comes to hiring and educational attainment.
True.
The Duluth model is a model that law enforcement, courts, and counselors use automatically that assumes men are the aggressor. The tender years doctrine is a guideline in divorce used to justify removing the father from the child's life. The only institutional sexism that exists is institutional sexism that discriminates against men in favor of women. Furthermore, U.S. courts require receipts to show how that money is spent by the custodial parent.
Yeah,
Did we lose Pearl again?
I think Pearl's freezing up.
Yeah,
Okay.
on her end.
I think because I think this is when she says, "Oh, so you want Big Daddy government to look into how single mothers are spending their money?" She should have
They're-
said yes. Hell yes.
They're already. She could have said yes because they're already doing that for the enforcement of child support.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, so you got to add another office to the child support fucking labor force. Big deal.
Yeah, fraud
Yep.
investigations. There you go.
Yep. hmm There needs to be a Department of Child Support Efficiency.
But
Where's Elon at?
But the thing is, and like she brought up the stat, like the average child support is $400 a month, right? There's a lot of guys out there who are paying a lot of child support, and they only get to see their kids every other weekend. So what they're basically doing is they're paying this money to their ex-wife or baby mama for her to install a revolving door in the front and back door for the conga line of cocks that's going to come through that house, and every one of those cocks is going to be able to spend more time around your kids than you will as their fucking father.
Yep, that's happened to my best friend.
Yeah.
He left his girls behind, and when we were on deployed, she got a new boyfriend, got pregnant again, and there's a stranger around his 2-year-old and 4-year-old. There's a stranger.
That's my nightmare, dude. That's my nightmare.
Do you understand? Like, as a man, what do you even do in that situation? There is a strange man in your house that you don't know around.
I get to see your
the most
kids
helpless
every single
creature
day.
on earth, which is a 4-year-old girl.
I
You know?
interviewed one guy who the mother was dating a convicted sex offender, and there's nothing he could do about it.
Yep.
Like
It had to have been a B-dub, right?
No, it was a white guy.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I need a new internet provider. I think I figured out the problem. There's like a Wi-Fi extender, and I think I was on the other network, so I might have fixed it. We'll see. I'll go back a few. Doug, sorry, did you want to say something?
This Man O'Clock News, he sent a super chat. It was right before episode 76's. Yeah.
Pearl was civilized, and Anna was overly aggressive and disrespectful. This isn't an L. Anna proved Pearl's point by acting out. Way to go, Pearl. Thank you. Stats are BS. Leftist brand is kindness. You got her to drop her mask. This is not a real win. I read this one already. Okay. Keep going.
Declare his name. Why
okay.
isn't she in jail? He lost millions of dollars.
To be clear, you think the penalty for defamation
I
is
think I played this part. Let me go a little more forward.
Can you? I can put his up on the screen. He didn't read it. Can you read that one?
You
That's
should
the one.
hire a criminal offense attorney and prepared for a cross-examination. You should have gone over your information. Also, land whales. Yeah, maybe for the next debate, I'll do that. I'll see if I can like. They're kind of expensive though, guys. This isn't like CNN. This is really like, I don't know what funding you think we have. Not what these other networks have, I'll tell you that.
women who want to stay home, they want to be traditional wives, and you trash them all the time, which I don't understand.
If feminists
I think let's go to 25 maybe.
use automatically that assumes men are the aggressor. The tender years doctrine is a guide 50-50 child support, no alimony.
I think we already did this.
No alimony.
Where were we before? I keep trying to.
They're like 5 minutes past this.
Okay, here.
Yeah, fair. Agree.
Use automatically that assumes men are the aggressor. The tender years doctrine is a guideline in divorce used to justify removing the father from the child's life. The only institutional sexism that exists is institutional sexism that discriminates against men in favor of women. Furthermore, U.S. courts do not require receipts to show how that money is spent by the custodial parent, unless there's overwhelming evidence of starvation, malnutrition, or severe child abuse. There are numerous reports of custodial
You want the
parents
government
spending the
to
money
check
on
receipts and
luxury.
see, like,
Let's let her respond to something.
What?
Let's understand something.
What? Sorry. That was like the only time I got to go.
Yeah.
What?
And when she said that, when she said you want the government to manage all the spending, you should have said, yes, I do.
Yes.
They already have a huge government apparatus collecting child support. Might as well add an extra office to make sure it's spent on the children. There you go.
Yep. Say, I'm all about transparency.
Yep. Yeah. Boom.
We're already spending the money. Might as well spend it on something useful, you know?
Yeah.
That's right.
You want government to be so big that you literally have the government looking at receipts to see what a mother.
But I'm not a political commentator. I don't really talk about, like, she's trying to lump me in with normal conservatives and saying like I don't think I've ever, at least not recently, talked about.
Throwing you,
well, yeah.
Yeah, she's throwing you to the deep end of or the deep lake. You know, she knows. Whenever they bring government into that stuff, it adds a different dimension because now she's framing it in the political sense, right? Because everyone hates big government. So now she's trying to take the people like libertarians and shit and turn them against you and all that stuff. But you have to hold your ground. You know?
Is spending the money on? That's insane.
I want no child support, no alimony, 50-50.
Yeah, because you're crazy and you don't live in reality.
So there's an insult right there. You're crazy and you don't live in reality. Except you are all for equality until it's time to hold women to the standard of 50-50 actual real world equality.
Yeah.
That would have been, you would have destroyed her right there. That would have been awesome.
Next time.
Yeah. Well, you live and you learn. Listen, it's okay to take the L, but if you walk away with a lesson, it's not a true loss.
Yeah. No, I learned a lot because it wasn't, that's what I realized. It wasn't effort. It was like, I should have used a different strategy when studying for this debate, and for the next debate, I understand the strategy I should use. So.
It was you don't know what you don't know. So how would you ever know?
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. Someone tweeted she couldn't mute her opponent. No, that would have been so helpful. That would have been amazing if I could have muted her.
I want equality. I'm more of a feminist than you, Anna.
There you go. Boom.
Because I say if you want to vote, be in selective service. Be on the front lines just like the men are.
Who do you think gives birth to and raises those soldiers?
Again, emotional argument.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because
there you go.
that women
There you
shouldn't
go.
be allowed to vote because they're not all in mandatory military service.
I say be equal. You want to vote, do what the men do. Men are fined
Should women be included in combat?
$125,000. Men
Should women
are
be
fined-
included in combat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do what the men
Fair.
do.
Fair.
Do what the men do.
Yeah, fair. Agreed. Next.
And this is like, we're like,
Well, okay, listen. She knew she couldn't go against you on this one because it's radically unfair. Because men, if they don't, sign up for selective service, they don't get to vote. Women get to vote for free.
I'm watching this back. I don't think it was as bad as I thought.
No, I'm telling you, it wasn't as bad. It was not as bad.
I think there's one. We haven't gotten to the pause. I think that was pretty bad, but I'm like watching it through. Like, I was just a little nervous, but it's not terrible.
Next. Nothing? Okay. I want to know what your ideal woman is, because if you are a traditional conservative woman who's married, staying at home, raising kids, you trash them.
There's no such thing as a traditional woman.
There you go. Boom.
They cannot be traditional in 2025 because women will always have the leverage.
What does that mean? What does it
She's too dumb to figure out.
mean that women
Because-
will always
That
have the
was
leverage?
way over her head.
Yeah, you literally could have said,
Women
Anna,
have
I've been
child
talking
support
about
calls.
this for 40 minutes now.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Back on women have alimony. So automatically
10% of divorces end with
doesn't-
alimony
Bro,
settlements.
You could have
and
said
10%.
and they
courts,
go.
You just
law
ignore
enforcement.
Hang on. She keeps. Hang on a minute. I don't want to interrupt. She keeps bringing only 10% of people pay alimony. It's not that big of a deal unless you're part of that 10%. Then it is a fucking
Yeah.
big deal.
I interviewed a guy who is a parole or corrections officer, and he had like 6 or 7. The guys that have a lot of kids kind of get screwed because they get divorced when they're older, so they can't like recover. Maybe Terrance, I don't know if you've had the same like experience, but like this guy was like 65 when his wife decided to leave.
No, You're
Now he's
fucked. You can't recover.
Yeah, now he's on lifelong alimony. He's never gonna retire. So it's like, what's that? She took his hat. Like, it's almost a blessing getting divorced at like 35 or 40, because like then you can recover. But like this guy, what's he gonna do? He's done.
That's right.
Yeah, I actually wish I brought up that story, but I kind of blanked.
stats.
They
You
go
just
from
move on.
men to women. They go from men to women. Billions of dollars every
I
year.
thought you said earlier that
Billions
women
of
are paying
dollars of-
alimony.
Billions of dollars of wealth every year is
What a
transferred from
dumb
men to
response.
women.
Mhm.
Based
on what? Where are you
through
getting that
family
information
court.
from? You're just making it up?
Look, we have it.
See-
We're excited. We can get it to you at the end.
Mhm.
You didn't want to submit. Where are your sources? You didn't want to submit them ahead of time.
That's what I was annoyed. She didn't want to submit her sources ahead before the show. And so we could have done it where we both agree, like, these are the sources, and then we could both have time to read them. But it's like, yeah, I wish I didn't say that, because then this went into a rabbit
No,
hole.
you did just fine. You did just fine.
Yeah, I'm
The
glad you
Census
said
Bureau, Bureau of Labor Statistics. I cited everything I mentioned.
that. Mhm.
Pull it up.
There we go. And she's doing
Well,
this. You were just reading off of the
main
page,
thing
and she
I want-
couldn't do anything. And now she's trying to break up your momentum
Yeah.
by doing, cite the sources.
And I should have just not got nervous and just looked for something else to read while she spurged. That would have pissed her off.
Yeah, because remember when you're reading from that paper all those different stats and stuff, and she tried to say, "Oh, that's not true." You just kept on going. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what.
I want people to understand, okay? Pearl's gonna trash women no matter what. That's fine.
I'm not trashing
But my
them.
biggest gripe with you is you're discouraging people from entering marriages.
Here we go.
I don't tell men what to do. Sell me on.
You
okay,
advise
Anna,
men to avoid marriage.
Sell me on marriage. What do
There you
men
go.
get out of marriage?
There you go.
There you go.
That's
Perfect.
sad. It's sad that people think that. It really is.
I wish I thought of, Nuke, what you said about the embarrassing the husband. It would have been a kill shot if she started to say an equal partner, and then I said like an equal partner that just embarrassed her husband on this show by calling him a bum.
Yeah, but
I mean, I did a
would've-
whole comedy video called "Sell Me Marriage."
Yeah. If you would have said that, she probably would have tried to fight you. It would have been a fist fight. So I'm not sure if that would have been.
And I would have
You
won.
would have won the
I
debate.
would have won.
You
no,
would have won the
I would've
debate,
won
but
the-
you would have.
She's 5. Look
Yeah.
how small she is. I would have won the fist fight. That would have been amazing. Like,
Yeah, but
Yeah, but then there's
understand insulting
lawsuits and stupid shit. Yeah, you don't need that.
yeah, and insulting a woman who makes her relationship part of her brand, insulting her husband is just like insulting a man's mother, you know, in front of him. It's like really, really bad. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you would have said that, she would have started crying probably. You know, who knows? But up to you, you know, it's with great power comes great responsibility. You know?
I'm gonna play the video. I need to mute it for 1 second.
You get a partner, you get a teammate, you get to build a life together, and it's beautiful.
A partner.
Yeah,
I
a
feel like
partner.
misery loves company in this situation.
I got really pissed at this part because I'm like, I'm right here.
And how would
Yeah.
you know what you get out of marriage if you haven't experienced marriage in the first place? I'm not saying that as a personal attack. I really
Yeah, you
hope
are.
that Pearl meets the love of her life
Why do
and
we
gets
have-
married.
why
It's
do-
not about that. But you
This is good.
trash it without really understanding what the benefits are.
There aren't any benefits.
This is good.
Why do we have phrases like it's cheaper to keep her?
And now we're back. Now we're back.
Pearl.
Now we're back.
Answer the question.
Divorce is expensive. And by the way, on purpose to discourage people from getting divorced in the first place.
Get the
No.
fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck.
Why do we have
outta here.
phrases like happy wife, happy life?
Because it's true.
Boom.
Oh,
Same with happy husband, happy
Wait,
life.
wait,
I don't want to
wait.
come.
Do you
Couldn't
see how
even rhyme
evil- Do you
husband.
see her? Do you see her real self come out there, like
Yeah.
Cruella Deville? Did you guys catch that?
Wait, what
Because
happened? I
it's
missed it.
true. Go back. Go back like 10
Wait, like-
seconds. Go back like
Yeah.
10
10
seconds.
Okay, we're at
Go back like 20 seconds.
6:20.
Look at her tone and the evil glint. You see the Cruella Deville. You see the Disney female villain right there. You just felt it. It was great.
I feel like misery loves company in this situation.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, this is where I said, I'm right here. I'm in the crowd.
And how would you know what you get out of marriage if you haven't experienced marriage in the first place? I'm not saying that as a personal attack. I really hope that Pearl meets the love of her life
Why do
and
we
gets
have-
married.
why
It's
do-
not about that. But you trash it without really understanding what the benefits are.
Why do we have phrases like it's cheaper to keep her?
Pearl,
Hell yeah.
Answer the question.
She doesn't.
divorce is expensive. And by the way, on purpose to discourage people from getting divorced in the first place.
Unless you're a woman.
Why do we have phrases like happy wife, happy life?
Because it's true.
Oh my God, there
Same
you go.
with happy husband, happy life. I don't want to
She couldn't
come
even
home to
rhyme
an
husband.
angry husband.
You guys see how like her real self came out? Her like
Yeah.
I
she
like
said
that.
it like
Sorry,
like
sorry.
Cruella Deville. She was just like, because it is like, you know, when a villain is just finally real, like admitting to their plan. That's exactly what she's so evil. The way she
And pay attention. She said, I don't want to come home to an unhappy husband. Like she still
Yeah.
made it about her. It wasn't about his happiness. I just caught that. Like it
Her
wasn't
husband's a cuck, dude. Straight
it
up.
wasn't
Oh, what
like
if he's-
I want to make him happy or like, you know, I
what
want
if
to
he's unhappy because he had a bad day at work? It's not up to you if he's happy or not sometimes. So the fuck what? He's gonna be unhappy. It's what the fuck? I don't know. I'm starting to get angry too. I'm gonna take a break.
But that's not a phrase.
Do you have
is
any
it?
other like catchphrase or slogan you want to throw at me?
What do men get out of marriage?
They get a partner.
That gains 25 pounds in the first 5 years.
Men get pretty fat too. I don't know if you've done a comparative analysis on that. They actually end up gaining more weight than their wives do. And who
Eat your wife's
cares?
cooking.
Men.
I mean, have a conversation with your partner. Encourage her.
How
Be an
can
adult.
how can men and women be equal?
Especially if she's giving you
How can men
children.
and women be equal when one is expected to die for the other?
Yep.
I don't expect anyone to die
See, this
for
I
anyone
don't-
else. I don't know what that even comes
Yeah,
from.
but men
That
are
one
willing to
got
die
her.
for you every day. The men in the police force, the men in the military.
What
what
about the
about-
women in the police force?
They're 10% and they cause so
So
many
what?
problems.
Who cares what percentage women make
They suck.
This is like the nagging of
up of the police force?
Yeah,
They're in
but
the
they
police
can't-
force.
they
My
can't-
sister-in-law's a cop, actually.
They can't
Yeah, she's
do
probably
the
awful
same
too.
jobs. There's videos on the internet
should see my
everywhere of
sister-in-law.
women getting their guns taken because they're not strong enough.
Are you just making things up?
No.
Dude.
The videos are there. I
Bro,
mean,
what are you doing? Like, seriously.
okay, this is the
Next
humiliation attack right here.
Yeah. Do you understand she did this because she's starting to run out of, again, it's the length of this part of the set. She has nothing left. She right here, everyone thinks you looked bad, but the thing is, look at neither of you have nothing to say. Neither of
Nuke
them.
is
Do you
right.
realize how good
This
you
is
have in this
supposed
country?
to be open debate. It's supposed to be open debate.
Yeah,
so this
it's
goes
over.
both ways.
Should have cut it right here. 15 minutes is good enough, you know.
Yeah.
Best country
You're right.
in the world.
And you get to live the life you live at the expense of men.
No, that's not true.
Oh my
That is
God.
true.
Show me how.
Oh, here we go.
Do you know how many men die every year? Just to,
Oh my god.
The nerves.
yeah. This is where
Yeah.
there are men that
I see. It's like whenever she like talks to me like that, I get like I don't know.
die every year to get you crab.
How many women die every year during childbirth?
Not many.
Yeah.
This country has the highest maternal mortality rate of any developed country. So
It's 'cause women
a lot
have
of women
kids
do
older.
die as a result of pregnancy.
Oh, I didn't think of that actually.
Yeah. Because of the stupid
It's also
fucking decision.
it's also because they have kids when they're obese. It's obesity too. Like women have there's a thing called comorbidities, right? So if you have high blood pressure and then you're pregnant, good fucking luck, right? We're
Yeah.
a fat country.
Those
It's
are
just
called-
comorbidities.
Those are called
Yeah.
obese women. Old, bitchy,
Did you guys know?
expensive, entitled, and fat.
Did you guys know that
Obese.
that a child's build, like propensity to be larger, can be affected if the woman's obese
Uh-huh.
while she's pregnant?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Yep.
Also, you have almost twice. You have the likelihood of you dying from a BBL is twice as likely as childbirth, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's one in 5,000, 1 in 5,000 for childbirth, and 1 in 3,000 for BBL. And women are not. There's no group of women telling other women not to get BBLs. So
Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
That's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah.
I tweet it all the time whenever women bring up the birth stuff. I'm like, hey, first of all, you guys are fat, you have comorbidities, and number two, you guys don't really care because you guys fly to a third world country and get fat injected into your butt, and it's almost twice as risky, you know.
And the whole thing about the whole childbirth argument, like all women want credit for childbirth and having kids when fewer and fewer of them are having it. So you have to frame that like, so are women that have children more important than women that don't? Because you keep talking about childbirth. What about, we have to figure out a way to make it, because I hate that whole all women should get credit. If that's the case, well, then all men should get credit for signing up for selective service and being able to get drafted, although we haven't been drafted. It's the same thing.
Yep.
Women aren't even we're not having kids, so I don't know why they keep trying to give us credit for this.
And childbirth, yes.
There we go. There's too much of a pause here.
This is painful, man.
They should have.
Do you have any other questions for me?
This is way too long.
No.
All right now.
No.
All right. Should I move on? Like, what are we doing now?
Can I ask a couple questions?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, let's just jump in here. So why don't we do this? I'll ask you one and then I'll ask you one and we'll kind of go back and forth.
That actually wasn't as long as I thought it was. Was there another? Or was that the only one? Felt like forever.
Yeah, it's just too long. This section was too long because she didn't have anything else. I know everyone said that you had the pause, but she had the pause. Like you guys both stared at each other there for like 10 seconds. She didn't like, and you know, women don't stop talking just because they're gonna keep going, blah blah blah, right? So, yeah. But you know,
you're right. You're right.
it's a new thing, so they don't know that 30 minutes was too long. So
Yeah.
Again, learning curve.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's
new business.
Yeah.
I kind of half jokingly said at the beginning, like Pearl had mentioned, I think you actually said it here too, that you believe you may be more of a feminist. Do you consider yourself to be a feminist, and how would you define that?
I don't consider myself to be a feminist, mainly because
Oh, what a
it's
bunch
a
of
loaded
bullshit.
word and there are certain outcomes
Wow.
You can hear me laughing in the background.
from
Then what are you here for?
certain waves of feminism that I don't agree with, particularly minimizing the importance of men in society. I do think that there is, you know, especially the third wave of feminism.
Then why don't you give them their kids? Like,
That's right.
You should have hopped on this whole moderate Anna crap. You should have been like, you've been a leftist freaking femtard this entire time, and now you want to come over? Get out of here! No, you don't get to join the party now. You just don't.
Or you could have just said, "I'm not buying it."
Yeah.
You know, just
if this was an academic setting, she would have been dinged every time she made an ad hominem attack.
yeah. It's an entertainment debate, you know. It isn't like an academic debate. So these guys got to pay rent. They gotta make it fun and exciting. So they gotta let this stuff fly, right? It's professional wrestling.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
That's done.
I mean,
that.
That's what Terrance Popp said. That was you. You said that these people got to pay bills, so it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Who cares? You know what's funny? I asked my dad if he wanted to go to this, and he's like, "I'd rather do anything else." He was like, the most intelligent men that I know, like, they just kind of view this stuff as a waste of time because they're like, what's the point? Like, that's the thing. Like, a lot of these libtards, they think they're so important when the most intelligent people in society just tune them out because they just know they're full of shit.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
That's why I said, Pearl, for the why the second part was so effective is because you're asking people whose job is it to talk, to tell them, hey, what are you doing? You want all the credit for doing things, but tell me what you've done, right?
Yeah.
And realize that in debates, people do that a lot. Like Trump used that against Hillary, right? He said, Hillary, you've been sitting here for decades. What have you accomplished, right? You know, and a lot of people are like, yeah, what has she accomplished? And that's really effective because she's telling you that you're wrong. And I'm like, okay, if you're a feminist and you have all this backing and all that stuff, what have you done? What's the plan here? And, you know, there's nothing. It's just, we just talk about the issue. I'm like, great, thanks.
Dad, do you want to go watch two women argue?
Hell no.
Yeah, it was just funny. He was just like, no. Well, that's the point. Someone said they find it entertaining. It's like, yeah, it's entertainment, but like that's what it is, you know. Neither me or Anna are going to change these policies. Like, you can't. So
yeah,
maybe someone else could, but you know, we don't have the power. Not as women. God, no.
Personally, really value masculine men, and I don't appreciate feminists speaking on behalf of all women in regard to what women prefer. I think the Me Too movement started off as a legitimate grievance with women who were legitimately abused, and it devolved into something laughable and ridiculous, especially when, you know, someone like Aziz Ansari gets accused of being like some sort of sexual predator when he clearly wasn't. So
You know she did that? You know
I
why
just
she did
don't
that?
like how loaded that word
Hannah?
is.
Because
That was sneaky because there's comedians in the crowd. She's
Huh.
appealing to the comedians. There's comedians in the crowd and on the crew. So she's appealing to them. This is a high level debate tactic, right? But I don't know if anyone else caught it. I'm like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You're appealing to the audience and the people that are here, but whatever.
Yeah.
What I actually genuinely want is equality among the sexes. I'm not looking for women to have an upper hand over men.
yes, you are.
Yeah, like literally, she was arguing for what about the kids and somebody's got to pay for daycare. I mean, there you go, right there. Wow.
At all. But we need to be based in reality, and we need to look at the statistics and figure out what's really going on. If men are getting a raw deal as a result of
Like,
divorce,
who knows more? Someone that looks for statistics or someone who works in the field? And
Well,
that's what like from their ivory towers, they want to say because they can read a study, they know more. But it's like, I have Terrance Popp right here. Let's fix the suicide crisis. Let's see what he has to say. And it's like, sorry, Terrance, what were you going to say?
Nothing. I'm good.
then yeah, the laws need to change. And I genuinely thought prior to this debate that they were getting the raw end of the deal. But as I researched this, I realized I was believing in outdated myths. So
this aggravated me to no end right here.
Yeah,
When she said that, I was like, "You fucking cunt! You are like the mouthpiece for the cult of the cunt." Oh, I'm so mad.
Do you believe and obviously you are citing a lot of anecdotal stories. I do think it's fair to point out every anecdotal story is someone's story, right? So they're not fake stories and they're not meaningless, obviously, to the people who live those realities. In a lot of cases, they're very painful. Because of your platform, you speak to a lot of those people. How much is that informing where you're coming from in this debate? Is the real stories of people who have been hurt by this stuff?
I mean, I've interviewed 1,000 people. I interviewed a guy who had his kid transitioned and there was nothing he could do about it. I interviewed another guy and he spent $300,000 trying to get his kid back. He actually went overseas to Ukraine during the war, just trying to be in his kid's life. So yeah, it impacts it a lot. Yeah, I've interviewed so many men that want nothing more than to just be a dad and see their kid. They don't even care about the money. They just want to see their children. And if you ask Anna, it doesn't exist. But if you ask any man, like everybody knows somebody that it's happened to. And commentators can, they can try to minimize it. They can talk from their ivory towers and pretend it's not happening. But there's a genocide of millions of men that's going on in this country.
You use
a genocide?
1.6 million men commit suicide, have committed suicide since 1970.
Similar rates of women.
This
also
is the worst.
What the fuck is wrong with you, bitch?
Yeah, and she brings it right back to the women.
Oh, guys.
Suicide, but fail because they usually don't resort to.
Because they're weak. I was yelling that in the crowd. I'm like, they're fucking weak.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
Ending their own lives.
I said it under my breath.
Why is it that every time we bring up men, you have to bring up women?
Because we're doing a comparative analysis here. You can't just throw out statistics without comparing it to what the rates are among women.
What I'm pointing out is, I just pointed out that by 2050, more men will have committed suicide than all of the world wars combined. And your first response was, well, women commit suicide too.
Because it is a problem that is inflicting both sexes in this country. It is a tragedy and should be taken seriously rather than this weird sex war.
But it's not going to be taken seriously when you pretend it's not going on.
It is going on. Are you kidding me?
I love that.
I mean, how many?
You said you did bad in the first half. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought. Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
As bad as I thought.
Friends, come back to.
I think it's just my tone because it's like very.
It's inexperience. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You're fine.
I'll get better, and I'm gonna get you round 2, bitch. And I'm gonna come back angry. So
the United States after multiple deployments do not get treatment or help with PTSD and other mental issues as a result of being deployed multiple times.
Right.
Like, that's a real problem. How come you don't talk about that?
Yeah, but
you
they
blame it on marriage and divorce
home,
instead.
right, because those soldiers come home to an empty house.
Totally.
You think
Yes,
that
they do.
Yes, they do.
divorce
It's called the
is
tumbleweed
the
treatment.
reason for most of these suicides.
Men are 9 times more likely to commit suicide after
How many more
divorce.
times likely are women to commit suicide after?
Oh, this was the part where I was
divorce.
like,
What about the
she's
You
an
don't know
idiot.
the number,
What
right?
about-
Because you
what
didn't even
about-
care to
what-
look into it.
No.
What about the women, though?
No.
That's always what you go to. And that's kind of what I'm trying to point out is feminists don't care about male issues. They don't. They do not care about equality. Because whenever you ask them for real equality,
Pearl, my point is that suicide
You could have
is
brought back
not
up the fact that she said that
just a
feminism is
male
for women.
issue. It is a
yeah. Yeah, I should have. Oh, I should have. Oh, I should have.
Yeah, because like once she said that, anytime feminism or what about women was brought up, you said you could have said, yeah, because all you care about is women, because feminism. It just kept hammering.
Oh, that would have been a good. Yeah, because all you care about is women. Yeah.
That was
huge
Write that
problem
down,
in this
write that down.
country.
all you care.
Women who try to end their own lives are less successful because, again, they're less likely to use a gun, for instance, or hang themselves. They'll take pills, it'll fail.
They're weak.
See, I keep looking down and be like, can I find it? And then I'm like, I give up.
It's messed
just-
up, right? But sometimes they do it just for attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
know.
not. They do it because they want someone to notice. Men do it because, yeah, I'm done here. There's nothing else. I'm done.
There's a story I'm thinking of. I know somebody that kept threatening to commit suicide, and then her dad was like, then do it. And then she was like, because he knew she wasn't going to. and then she then she stopped like crying. You know what I mean? Like she stopped like milking it for attention, but like everyone knew she wasn't going to do it. Yeah.
A tragic thing all around. But if you actually care about suicide rates, then you would want to know what's causing the suicide rates or the attempts at suicide.
Divorce.
What can we do as a society to help people to prevent that from happening? And you wouldn't make
I've just given like
it specifically and solely an issue that inflicts one sex over the other.
Again, I mean, you're just proving my point because we talk about male issues, you keep bringing it back to the women.
That,
look,
I
that's
just
good.
want-
That was
I
not,
mean,
that
you
was pretty
compare
good. That
the
was pretty good.
stats, you're-
yeah, because do you know what? I'm like, you just said a lot. It's nagging.
spewing right now
Okay.
with something to compare it to.
Okay. Do you think that women should be on the front lines of the military like the men?
If they can pass the physical test necessary to do, so,
think,
yeah.
do you think women should be in selective service? Like the men?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and they should be on the front lines as infantrymen.
If they are physically capable.
Bruh.
See, and this is when you got to hammer.
I should have said
I need a
something.
yes or a no. I need a yes or a no. Stop talking. I don't want to hear anything out of your mouth except for a yes or a no.
Capable of doing it, yes.
Okay, so no.
So you could have taken this multiple ways. It all stems on men are stronger than women, and that's really the whole issue here about feminism. They don't
she's
like
gonna
the fact
make
that men are stronger.
And she's going to make a comment about fat men. Are they on the front lines? Yes.
I
We
must,
will send fat boys to the front. They will lower the standards, especially if they need dudes. They will lower those standards. You could be a 500-pound orbiting fat boy, and they will still send your ass out there if they need
Yeah.
you.
There's a
You mean to
waiver
tell
for
me that-
everything.
That's right.
You can tell me that there aren't, 55, 60-year-old fat guys on the front line fighting in the Ukraine right now? Come on.
Average age is 48 now.
Yeah.
And if she said no, you could have said, well, why? Well, because men are more capable. I'm like, okay, so they're not. So men and women are not equal. There you go. That would have stopped it right there. But that you could have taken it both ways. But yeah, whatever.
You want to put people who aren't physically I mean, Obese men wouldn't be put on the front lines.
Yeah, they would. Yes, they are.
Do you think women should be jailed for false accusations?
Depends on what the false accusations are. If
Just
she's
yes or
falsely
no?
accusing someone of rape, for
Just yes
instance,
or no?
yes.
Just okay. Thank you. I agree. Do you think that child custody should be 50-50?
As long as the court determines that
There you go.
both parents are capable of being caretakers, yes. In fact, that's the ideal situation.
Yeah.
Okay,
She
yes.
dodged that right there.
All right. Do you believe in alimony?
I believe in alimony in specific cases where the woman decided to forego having a career and working, decided to stay home and raise the kids. In those
Again,
cases, I
preferential
believe
treatment right there. She could have said, obviously, that's preferential treatment. You don't like equality. Boom.
Oh, I should have said that. Okay.
deserves alimony, yes.
But that's a privilege.
You're ridiculous. Anyway, next, move
wait,
on.
You said it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous,
That it's a privilege to stay home
especially
with your
coming from a girl who grew up in an affluent situation with incredibly wealthy parents. You don't know anything about struggling economically or financially. So to tell a single mother who decided to stay home and raise her children instead of work, that she
stop
doesn't
it right
deserve
there,
a
Pearl.
penny.
When she was going on this tirade, as soon as she was done, you said, well, if you're about true equality, guess what? You chose to stay home, and now you got to get a goddamn job just like a man. Wah.
And also, we gotta get away. Look, the fact that your dad put himself in the position to be able to put his kids in the best position possible should not be used against you in any kind of. You have to figure out a way.
I'm proud of my father.
I know all of us. Everybody should be.
My dad was the son of a fireman. Like my dad wasn't. We're not from like a multi-generationally wealthy family. My dad's just brilliant. Like,
but she's trying to discredit you because your father had money.
Yeah,
that's exactly what she's doing.
My dad, like. You can't make me feel bad about my father.
Yeah,
my dad's one of 13, son of a fireman. His sister's an alcoholic. Like some of his siblings did not get they're not very successful. So it's like my dad worked his ass off my whole life.
You should have said it's not my fault that my dad's smart and your dad's dumb. Yeah, honestly, if someone said something about you,
oh my god,
your family's influence, say, look, my parents were smart, they put their kids in a good position. Your parents are dumb because they didn't do the same thing.
Well, you could have also said like, well, you financially took care of your husband. Does that make him privileged? You know. So you put him on. You took him away from his couch. You know, like what? You know what? Hindsight 2020. Let's just leave it at that.
There you go. Yeah.
To raise her kids after a divorce is the most privileged piece of shit thing to say.
This is
next.
This is the type of nagging that drives men to suicide.
But I'm
damn.
married and you're not. So next.
Jesus Christ. I get it.
Oh no. So yeah, so
A little harder to debate someone who's not an OnlyFans girl, right?
There's another cheap shot.
You could have said our OnlyFans girl is dumb. I thought you supported women.
Yeah.
I've said not yet, and you can hear it on the thing.
That's what I mean. I'm like, nothing, moderate, nothing.
Never. I don't need to. Not that I'm judging.
Yeah.
That kind of contradicted. It's okay.
It's why isn't paternity fraud illegal?
We've been over this already.
It's estimated 6% of men are fathering children that are not theirs.
I don't really believe your stats. Like where
the
are you getting
American
that
Blood
stat
Bank
from?
Association. Are you happy?
Okay.
1/3 of
I like that. Are you happy?
That one I knew.
Paternity
and
tests.
there should be
But
consequences.
that's the thing. She doesn't even know what that is. Like, how did that help her? Now you have the name of the study. Like, okay.
Consequences for that.
But there aren't.
Okay.
But there are. Where
And there
have the
should be. So
feminists
we agree
been?
on that. Next.
Right? You can agree, but you haven't covered it. And that's my point: is you guys don't care about equality. You want
I like that
freedom
one.
at the expense of men.
Okay, sure.
There you
Next.
go.
Do you think that men should have the right to opt out of fatherhood, since women have the right to opt out
Here
of
it
motherhood?
comes.
No.
We
There
should have
you
did
go.
more of this.
Boom!
We should have did more of this.
Boom!
Put a condom on.
See, there it is.
You don't want to have children, put a condom on.
Or require him to wear a condom. That's equal.
Yeah.
That choice is equally irresponsible.
He's the one with the Johnson. He gets to decide what he does with it.
I don't.
Despite the fact you
I
have
think I'm more
12
of a
forms of birth control, and you can abort the child.
It's socially acceptable for women to emasculate men, but men are not allowed to shame women. How is that equal?
That's a good one.
Feminist than you.
Sure. Go great. Congratulations. This is the longest 30 minutes of my life.
Here we go.
Okay, I'm going to interject again if I
All
can.
right.
I was kidding. So one thing that I do think is happening is that there is a shift that is taking place in America. And I think you both have alluded to this a little bit. And so I'll ask Anna first if you would agree with this. Because you said that going into this debate, you thought a lot of these things were true.
Right.
And you started to see that maybe these things were not as true as you had believed. Do you believe that your previous belief was informed by nonsense, or the fact that states and legislatures and courts are changing what they're doing over the last few years in terms of alimony and parental time and that kind of thing?
I think that with more women participating in the workforce, it's hard to argue that, women should get paid alimony when they have their own income. So yeah, I think that the culture has changed, the workforce has changed, and as a result of that, the courts weigh whether or not something like alimony makes sense. And look, much like Pearl, I had heard the horror stories, and I was basing much of my worldview on situations like this based on anecdotes, basically. And so when you look at the statistics and the broader picture, you have a clearer idea of what's actually happening in the aftermath of a divorce.
Would you be willing to concede at least that maybe some of the reasons some of these things are shifting is because of people like Pearl and others who are drawing attention to these stories? Because I think we could all agree that until recently, a lot of those stories were just stories you hear from other people, and it was not allowed in media at all. It was not discussed. Would you at least concede that?
I'm sure that there are advocates who have fought to maybe change the way these court cases play out. Sure. I don't know about Pearl, though.
I understand. We're in the debates. You can't give too much credit. Pearl, in your experience, the men that you talk to, do you see a difference in terms of the age of those men, where maybe it's getting better for some? Because I would take it that some of the guys who were a little older and have been through this in the past, the courts are starting to recognize and realize that maybe it's not very fair.
No.
No.
I would have said.
And why do you believe?
I would have said, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. As long as women are selfish and are choosing themselves over society and their children, it's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
They all come from the same thing: single mother homes or dominant women homes, and they all get taught from when they're 5 that mommy is always right. So they all got to go through the meat grinder. We save as many as we can, but it's a meat grinder. So.
And the sad part about it is women are making a meat grinder for themselves. They didn't have all this hardship. Once again, women are fighting for their lives to be hard.
Yeah.
That you think the courts are completely
I mean, there's men that write into my show every day just talking about how much they want to be fathers. So I hope it changes, but right now I would say no.
Do you think it's fair that all of the young women who were preyed upon
This was
as
a scumbag
minors
move
by
right here.
Jeffrey Epstein are now experiencing yet another administration engaging in a cover-up?
Well, I don't.
Okay, so
Okay,
so she went very political.
You
Oh, go ahead,
could have
Terrance.
easily said, "Well, I'm talking about divorce. You're talking about criminal court. They're two different animals."
Yeah, I'm glad that you didn't answer this question because that's literally there is no good way to answer this question. I'm glad you didn't answer it.
Well, and I just
In the
don't know.
context she
I
asked
don't know anything about, like, obviously I've seen what's on the news, but I don't know what she's talking about. Like, I didn't
She's
follow that.
taking you to her. She's taking you to her arena. She knows she's outclassed in this. She's taking you to her arena, which is politics. What you could have said too is also like every one of those girls had a permission slip from their mother.
No way.
Wow,
Yeah,
I didn't know
Every
that.
one of those girls. Yeah, every one of those girls had parental permission, and their mother signed the permissions. And it's a metaphorical permission slip, right? But all of those girls were there because of their mother was okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just glad that you didn't touch this question. I'm just glad. 'cause
Yeah.
it would've been-
I
it would've
well,
been bad.
I couldn't touch it even if I wanted to because I didn't.
Yeah,
We
it
weren't
was,
prepared
it was
for that
such a
at all.
political
I'm-
thing. It
oh,
was
I'm
like she
like-
sounded like a
That's
politician.
a fucking
here.
scumbag thing to do. What is this? What does that question have to do with anything?
Or was it the female's fault for being preyed upon by a disgusting pedophile? I'm just curious.
What kind of question is that?
I think it's a pretty straightforward one.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the topic.
There you go.
No,
There
it
you
does
go.
though, because you're talking about the unfairness of our court system, especially as it pertains to divorces. But
But what's
we're
that have to do
talking
with
about
divorce?
a guy who got a sweetheart deal after.
Like she's like a sweetheart. I don't even know what a sweetheart deal is. So I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, you can react to this. It's on World War Debate. Sorry, go ahead. Someone was gonna say something.
No. Once again, I'm just glad that you. This she even said on the topic of divorce, whatever. But yeah, but what is this? What does that have to do with divorce, paternity court, modern day feminism? What's that have to do with anything?
I know you handled that pretty good.
Yeah, that was
Sure.
solve that issue.
She just wants to frame it that I'm a pedophile in some way.
Or that you
Raping
support,
minor.
that whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Girls. And then even after that, multiple administrations, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter, engaged in a cover-up, ensuring that those victims would never get justice.
And this has to do with this.
I mean, you want to talk about the unfairness in the court system and how terrible it is for men. What about how terrible it is for women?
There we go. Bringing it back to women. Bringing it back to women.
Like,
Can't
that
help
has
it.
nothing to do with
It
anything.
has a lot to do
I
with
think
what
in
we're talking
fairness, you
about.
gotta admit that's an anecdote too in comparison to the overall statistics.
It's a
There
pretty
you
big
go.
Like,
anecdote.
He like
He's a
that
big
guy. That guy
anecdote,
was on your side
but he's
though.
I know he was.
Because-
Here's the problem. Whenever you have an unreasonable woman, everybody just caters to her because she's unreasonable, like because they know she'll freak out more.
She said Agatha.
Yeah, and so they go through life, like, they just go through life being catered to because, like for example, like I just they're not gonna put. They don't want her to cancel or like back out because they know that's something she would do. So they're going to be more catering to her. So she'll come back because she's more of a bitch, right? I mean, that's just like life.
Yep.
Also an untouchable anecdote, right? He's
I
a
don't think
little
it's
different than
untouchable.
most-
I think
than
it's
most
super
people.
touchable.
So let's go back to actually hold on. We got 10 seconds, so we won't hold on. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're actually going to take a break. We're gonna come off of the stage.
All right, we ended the first half. Nice job describing yourself. Yeah, guys, we're gonna get our email system a little bit better, so there's better communication with everybody. If you go to the website and sign up, you'll be added to our email list. But we're working on it. It's coming.
And like, you know, I'm not gonna say what happened when she stepped off the stage, but guys, like, you guys did a real good job of like recentering activists. Like, first off, the security guard tried to block people from getting in. That was funny. But once
He's
we got
just doing
in
his
there,
job. He's just doing his job.
you guys did a really good job. I'm not gonna say what happened, but that was a great job, guys. Like, really, really, really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just told you that you did fine. Like again, you know, see how we're watching it again? We're like, you learned something, which is the most important. And the number two is just, it seemed bad in the moment, but if you look back, we're seeing all of the cheap tricks in the you know,
Yeah.
the sucker punches, the thing, you know, and it even ended with her using an anecdote and her mentioning Jeffrey Epstein. Like, what kind of,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Like, she talked about your anecdote at the beginning. Then she
Yeah.
ends with an anecdote. Are you serious?
But the thing is, I was super locked in and I was paying attention to everything. And I was just realizing, like, hey, these people got to pay bills. This is why this is going on, right? They have to let a little bit of you know, cheap tricks happen because the show must go on. You know, it's a circus.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like the first one, so you know they have to figure out like a flow and stuff.
No, they'll get it. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a big show. I think
so too.
Yeah, I think this has potential. Okay, let's see. Since it's only 50, I think I could do the second half. If you guys have to drop though, feel free. I know it's getting late.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I do because I
can stay for a little bit more.
Okay.
But all right, guys, I'm dropping off. See ya.
See you, Doug.
later, wild man.
They're gonna stay. All right, let's see the rest of this.
And then we're going to get into the final statements. So
yeah, I stopped giving a fuck when I came back.
We'll pick up our open debate. Pearl, I'll let you begin.
What's your plan when men stop doing the dirty and dangerous jobs that keep society running?
If you could hold your mic.
Sorry, I'll say it again.
Can you give me an example of which jobs you're referring to?
Logging, plumbing, crab fishing, oil rig.
Yeah, those are dominated by men. They have the physical capacity to do it. Men and women are built differently.
What's your plan when they stop?
I mean, we're going to have a problem.
Yep.
Are you suggesting that women should be forced to
Yes.
work on oil
It's called
rigs?
equality.
What is your plan?
That's a
What do
ridiculous
men get out
question.
of doing those
I don't
jobs?
have a plan, Pearl, for a
Feminists
situation in
never
which
do.
men no longer do those jobs.
I'm
Maybe
telling
you
you
do.
how
I don't know.
effective that question is. It's so effective because you have just made her admit something. I don't have a plan. Exactly. You don't.
And you should have said, like, are you going to force them to do it? You're like, if you want to, like, you know, live and, you know, in the society, somebody's going to have to do those jobs. And if men walk away, you're going to have to do them. And if you have to force you, so be it. Men get drafted. It's all about equality. Wah.
What's your plan when men start walking away from marriage? What's your plan?
So do men or women get a raw deal from marriage? Because you just
What
said
is
men
your
walking
plan?
away
What
from
is
marriage.
your
So
plan?
is he culpable
you
for
stayed
doing
on
that?
it. Perfect.
What is your plan when men walk away from marriage?
Is he responsible for walking
You're
away from a
changing the
marriage?
topic. What is
Or
your
is
plan?
he just never guilty of
My
anything?
point is you shit on men.
I don't shit on
and
men.
yet
I love men.
the very microphone you're using was built by men. The building was built by men. And there's no gratitude or appreciation. You just tell them they're not doing enough.
Ooh,
Got me. You got me. Yep.
there you
So
go.
what's your plan when men start walking away from society?
I should have said because of women like you nagging them.
What do you mean by walking away from society?
When men stop doing the dangerous jobs, when men stop getting married, when men stop having kids.
To be quite
What
honest
is
with
your
you,
plan?
if American men decide they no longer want to do those jobs, very likely our government will import men from countries where they're willing to do those jobs. That's probably
And
how
what's
it's going
your
to work
plan
out.
when they date American women and then decide to stop too?
I'm not worried about that.
I was like, but my boyfriend's from the DR. I see what happens when his friends come here.
They're traumatized.
Yeah.
They hear women burp on first dates. They tell me about it. A woman burped at me when I was on a date with her, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, man.
Of course you're not.
No. I never had
The
any
future
problems.
is not going to be great for feminists. You guys are going to get the equality that you're asking for.
Yes.
Men are not going to protect women in the streets. Men are going to stop signing up for the infrastructure jobs. The birth rate's going to keep falling, and the future is going to be bleak.
Okay.
Yep.
Listen,
Tired, man.
I think men and women serve important roles in society. I think that you have a shallow understanding of what I believe, number one, but more importantly, what the dynamic is between men and women in modern society. You're under this weird impression that the anecdotal evidence that you cite is indicative of the outcome of all marriages. In reality, study after study shows that married
Half of
couples
marriages
tend
end in
to be
divorce.
happier than single individuals.
Right? They're happy before the divorce.
Divorce is terrible. Divorce
And the
means
other
that the
thing
marriage
is,
didn't work
yeah,
out. Obviously, they're not going to be happy in the middle of a
Like
divorce.
correlation doesn't mean causation. People marry happy people and date happy people in general. You're attributing it to marriage, but you're not going to marry someone that's a bit.
Okay.
You're right, Pearl.
You know, what's really interesting is if you look at marriage rates,
Food,
which have dropped in the United States, not just in the United States, actually globally, you'll notice that the people who are less likely to get married happen to be those who are from a lower socioeconomic status.
Right, marriage is disappearing from the middle class. That's true.
From poor individuals, yes.
What's
Do
your point?
you wonder why?
Because women marry rich.
People forgo marriage due to their own personal financial situation.
So
Good.
women marry for money a lot. Okay. So I'm going back to this.
Let me ask
Matter
you
in their own
something,
point.
Pearl.
Men.
Would you be willing to
88
marry a guy who's
men.
poor?
Men.
Because I
88
married a guy who was in debt and
Men.
Oh no.
loved the hell
Here we
out
go.
of him. Best
All right.
thing in my life.
Oh.
Would you
That's
marry
very-
a guy who is
that's-
broke,
That's very
no
nice,
career,
Anna.
and in debt? Would you?
That's very nice, Anna.
Would you?
So I'm going back
Answer
to
the
the
question.
topic.
Would you marry a
So,
broke guy
all
in
right,
debt?
All right. So we're going back to the
Would
topic.
you? Would you?
All right. This
Here
is
we
the
go.
nagging. This is the nagging again. Okay. So
I'm pushing you to answer a question
88
because
all
you are
right,
judging
all right.
women,
Oh, my
making a
God.
blanket statement of
the
who
nag-
they.
I love it. You're like, oh my God. I have heard so many men say that in my life when the women are like, oh, they can just they look at you and go, oh my God. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh my God.
I couldn't keep a straight face. I couldn't.
I know you. I knew you had her here. I knew that it was over. As soon as you said, "What's your plan?" and she had like that 6-second pause. She was off. She was off. Off center. She was. I'm like, you got her.
Why did they make me answer this question? Because this is a personal question. And the moderator was like I didn't understand why he made me answer this.
They were just curious. They were just curious because everyone wants to know who Pearl is dating and blah blah blah. It's just a curiosity thing.
Yeah, but it's none of their business.
I know, but I mean, word debate. Got to pay bills. Got to make it controversial. You know?
And it's fine. I was like thinking, I'm like, why that question out of all of them?
Would be willing to marry,
The
who they
nagging,
wouldn't be
make it
willing to marry.
stop.
But you're not answering the question
God help
yourself.
us.
Would you be willing to marry
Does
a
your
broke
husband
guy
have
in
to-
debt?
Does your husband have to
You
listen to
wouldn't,
this?
would you?
Does he have to listen to
Oh, he loves it.
Of course he does.
loves it. Well, that's the thing. It's like when you bring in, like, if you're debating and you bring in your boyfriend or husband, like, who are they going to attack next? You know what I mean? Like, why would she put her husband in a political debate if she
Because
loves
she
him?
doesn't respect him.
Because
Yeah.
you know, That's like even when she was talking about my family, it's like I don't want to do a tirade about them because it brings more attention to them. You know, I don't need these crazy people. You know. It's like,
All right.
Can't get enough
So
of
can
it.
I go back
Do you
to the
not want to answer
question?
that? Why do you not want to answer that?
Yeah, why not?
Just say no. I don't want to.
Love is love. Now back to the question.
There
Men,
you go.
88% of the food.
I should have said if he's hot enough. That's more honest.
The power grid, 93% men. Transportation, 95% men.
Men are an important
Communications,
society.
90% men. Material production, 78% men. Software, 80% men. Auto workers, 98% men. Carpenters, 98% men. Electricians, 98% men. If you remove the top male-dominated jobs from the economy, you would have no running cars, no housing, no electricity, no open machinery, no materials or fabrics, and no computers. There would be no buildings and no Amazon delivery.
I've never
What
once said
is your
that men
plan?
are not a very important part
Feminists,
of American
you want-
society.
You want men enslaved to women for nothing in return.
No, you're just making
That's what
things
you
up.
want. That's what you want. You want men on the hook for
Okay,
child
Pearl,
support.
what have I
You
said
want men
that
on the
gives
hook
you that
for
impression?
alimony.
Let her finish
What
her
have I
sentence.
said
you
that
want-
gives you that impression?
You want men on the hook for child support. You want men on the hook for alimony.
You want men to not take responsibility for their own children.
You've been on the air for 20 years and you have not advocated for men that are victims of paternity fraud. You want men to do all of the work, get no credit for nothing.
I do
And men aren't
political
going to do
news.
it anymore. They're going to walk away, Anna. They're not
That's
going to
right.
do it anymore.
100%.
And feminists, as you said, have no plan for when that happens. And I wish
What do you want
luck.
their plan to be? You think it's a feminist responsibility to
happened?
plan for this made-up society where all men decide
You know
they
what's
no
funny?
longer want to
You guys
work?
know what's funny? She actually advocated for left-wing policies the last 20 years. And then she got assaulted by a homeless person.
What does that have to do with the topic?
Because
at
it
hand?
was the result of what you voted for, Anna.
Oh,
First of all,
And so, and you want to know why? Because
you think
Anna,
I voted?
because-
Hold on.
because-
You
because-
think I voted
because-
for homeless people
because-
to go around
all right, so
sexually assaulting
Anna,
people?
Because Anna
By the
was.
way, I got sexually assaulted
do you know
by
what's-
a
do you know what's-
guy.
all
Was
right,
that
all right.
was
So,
that
do you know
his
what the other
responsibility?
crazy
Was
thing
that
is?
something that he did, or was that my fault too?
All right. So the other crazy thing is that Anna complains that women's opinions aren't taken seriously, while a whole event was catered around her opinion. The other thing that's crazy
What are you talking about?
is Anna complains about women being oppressed, and yet she had less experience than her co-host at the Young Turks.
Hold on.
And-
Hold on. What were my complaints about women being oppressed? Can you?
Definitely said this in a video.
And you went low. I forgot how low you went. You went low.
Be
All right,
specific.
Hey.
all right.
What did I say?
I was
you're like, all right, all
When
right.
they
You're
go
like,
low, you go to hell.
I was
That's what I
so
say.
done. I was just 2 hours of this bullshit. I was so done. I'm like, you stupid bitch.
Well, here's
quote
that.
me. Go ahead and quote me because you make shit up
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
just
see, now
think like it's
you-
going
now
to
you-
stand.
nagging.
You've
You got her
never had
mad.
a strong woman
Make it
challenge
end,
your
nagging. Make it
bullshit.
end.
So go ahead and
Make
tell
it
me
end.
what have
He
I
was mad.
complained about?
Okay.
Give me the quote.
The nagging. You said women's opinions are not taken seriously.
When did I say that?
In a YouTube video.
There's two women on this stage
Okay,
right now
all
for the
right. Are we-
headline event.
Oh my God. Are we going to end?
When have I said women's opinions
right,
don't
all
get
right.
taken seriously?
It's
You
kind
just
of
make
like
it
the
up.
roundabout. This is like eternal nagging.
The women-
Oh my God.
The
there she
80%
goes.
of women who work
Oh,
in the
there she
healthcare
goes.
industry no longer want to do it. What's your
I
plan?
have a plan.
Yeah, what's your plan?
Let's give the jobs to the men. They'll do it better.
ooh, there you go.
Boom. Perfect.
Because
this
we
is
see what's
YouTube-
happening
this
in
is
the
YouTube,
media. You know,
Pearl.
women fly planes, they crash them. All women
She's
women
having
almost
flash.
burned down California. You know, people are dying because they want to make women feel better. People literally,
what I'm curious about is whether
I'm so mad I couldn't remember the name of the plane crash on the East Coast. I was so mad. I remember I said the plane on the East Coast. Like, no, we're not.
It was
making-
a helicopter and plane crash.
Yeah,
I remember.
I wish I said it more specific.
Not the Pick Me Act ever resorted into anything positive for you.
Are you done?
I'm not.
All right. So I'm not either.
Okay, keep going.
Now, the other thing is, women fly planes, they crash them. Women are in CEOs.
What are the stats on
most
that?
Female.
What are the
most
stats
female
on that?
There we go. She's trying to break.
It's like
She's trying to
feminists.
break
They
your
want
rule.
stats that say water is wet. The
Yeah,
sky
I
is
want
blue.
empirical evidence
Right,
to
because
back up your arguments.
because you want to be in control of telling people what to think and how to feel.
No, I want to be in reality. I want to live in a fact-based reality that requires empirical evidence, not your assertions.
300. We all saw that plane crash on the East Coast. No one's making that up, Anna.
You do better when you're reading off your paper, so I'll give you some time to do that.
She's trying to shut you down because you're effectively outmaneuvering here.
In the future, because I'm sure you'll find yourself in more
All
of
right,
these
what
debates,
I
actually think that you could be an incredible debater, but you need to look at the broader picture. not
she's
just
doing
rely
the
on
sun- she's
anecdotes,
stunning you right
and
now.
don't make things up out of
Nagging.
full cloth.
Okay. Feminism empowered women. I'll take the tip. Thank you. Feminism empowered women to sign up for previously male-dominated careers that they quit. 48 to 73% of female lawyers, depending on the type of firm, quit either as junior associates or at mid-career. 1/4 of them cite workload, burnout, mental health. 73% of women who got engineering degrees in the past 15
Women
years
bad.
either have
we
never
go.
entered the field professionally or quit early mid-career. 55% of all female accountants quit before or at their mid-level career. The attrition rate for women in STEM is approximately 50%. These companies often bend over backwards to get women hired to the point of discrimination against male qualified candidates. Then women quit because they don't want to work the long hours or deal with the levels of stress for an extended period of time, with women being 2.5 more likely to take antidepressants than men.
Yep.
The money and prestige isn't worth it to them. They prefer lower pay, lower workload, and higher job security. Feminism is empowered women. I actually am better when I read off the paper. So
I know you were just crushing her.
Yeah, she was like, you should read off the paper. I'm like, I will.
Yeah.
I actually will. Go to college and take out loans they can't afford for career paths that will not generate them income to pay off those loans.
Men
The
have
top
higher debt
college-
than women.
Right, because
They do.
Because women put their biggest expenses on their husband's credit card.
Ooh, that was good.
You didn't expect me to know that. I hired guys. This is how dedicated I am to the stats. I hired a guy with a photographic memory who's written like 10 different books, and I hire him to double check my stats to make sure they're good. Like, and so that's what he told me about that, and I'm like, that would make sense. So,
According to Experian, and they look and
women are
account for those
85%.
factors
Women
that
are
you just
85%
mentioned.
of women are
Hold on.
85% of consumer spending. We lead when it comes to luxury brands.
Men have more mortgage debt, car loan debt, personal
we
credit
go.
card debt,
Right, because they're
personal loan debt.
expected to provide. Women make 80% of consumer buying decision. Again, if feminists really cared about equality, they would provide for the men.
They would what for the men?
Where's
Sorry,
king
I missed
treatment,
that.
fellas? I don't think that was that strong. I should have just kept going.
Sorry, can
Yeah.
you
If
repeat that?
feminists cared about equality,
Yeah.
they would provide for the men. But yet, that is a small minority of women.
Wait. So let me get this straight. Honestly, your
fucked
whole
up.
shtick is
You got her.
women should bend over backwards and do everything they
I'm-
can for men.
She's the nagging wife. Now you
My
turn into a
argument-
nagging
I'm an
My
egalitarianist.
Hold on, my argument is that men and women are both tremendously important to a functioning society. They should both be treated with respect. They both serve different jobs, different roles, and in order for society
doing
to
the
work,
the
we have
bird
to
hand.
respect that.
Women
The
are
bird
not.
hand.
But
Seem
women are
to
not.
put the onus and responsibility of everything onto women while providing cover for the bad behavior of men.
Women are not equally important because they don't do the equal
Men
work.
are equally important.
There you
I
go.
never said that they weren't.
Women are not equally important because they don't do the equal amount of work. Men have invented the majority of the inventions. Men have started Fortune 500 companies. Men do the majority of the infrastructure job. Men produce 90% of the
scrubbing the toilets
80%
after
of the
work?
food supply, 90% of the world's stuff.
Who's changing the diapers?
Not women.
Who's
not
raising
women. They're
the
not having
children
kids.
after
Women aren't
working
having kids,
all
so
day
women
long?
aren't doing it. Daycare workers now, to be honest, it's not the moms.
Yeah, wow.
Not everyone grew up in an affluent household like you. They need a dual income household in order to make ends meet in this economy.
Anna, you
live
talk.
in reality for
Anna,
one day
you
in your
talk.
life.
Anna, you talk for a living. It's kind
I
of
do.
rich for you to come at me. She's so mad.
That's awesome.
I think that was my favorite part. I'm like, bitch.
Bitch, what do you do for a living?
There you go, right there.
I also talk, but I can acknowledge it's not that hard of a
Okay.
job.
Talk a lot
For
about
you,
right there,
well,
I'm
you
just
pretend
like,
it's
that was
more
the final
important than it
blow.
is.
There you go.
Okay.
That was the final blow.
Well, since
You talk for a
Pearl,
living.
you need to sound clip that when she said that and put it up on or cut that into a clip and put it on YouTube and put it on Twitter.
I think I did, but it didn't go that viral.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sadly. I thought it was funny too.
there were only about 30 seconds left, we'll just call it there. All right, good job.
I actually don't think I got cooked as bad as I thought.
No, you.
Yeah.
The
Told
only
you,
thing
I've
is
been
you didn't
telling you.
have the stats, and she messed up your flow by asking for them.
And I was a little bit nervous, and you could tell in my tone, but yeah.
That's okay.
was
Again, that'll pass. You'll get good at it.
These debaters around.
I cooked her in the closing though. And if I know one thing, I know I cooked that closing.
All right, we have 5-minute closing statements where you will not attack each other or call each other names.
Okay, now now we're saying that at the last. Okay.
Oh, they got all this. They got their entertainment value. It's done. They got what they came for.
Yeah.
Anna, you're first.
I'm just going to go ahead and read what I couldn't get to in my opening statement, if you don't mind. Taking advice from someone like Pearl will ensure that you will be lonely and incredibly sad. If you have this dark view of an entire...
It's so funny because how have you done this for 20 years and that's your closing statement? Like, your argument is if you take advice from me, you'll be sad. Like, what?
I know.
Like, if anything, you're proving my point that women are retarded. because that was just the dumbest. Okay, I'm just.
Sex. Nearly 50% of the country. I can't imagine living day to day being a happy person. I don't know what Pearl actually believes. Part of me feels like this is a shtick. But I'm going to take what you say at face value and just think you genuinely believe it. And if you do genuinely believe it, I actually feel really bad for you. If you think
this is all
women
emotional
in
here.
general fit in this weird description where they're looking to take advantage of people, where they're looking to rip people off, where they're looking to get married only to divorce and steal a man's money, you live in an alternate universe. Sometimes
just have
divorces are
eyes.
ugly. Sometimes there are bad women who make things up, who lie about rape, and there should be consequences for that.
But there aren't.
The difference between you and me is that I think the bad behavior of women deserves consequences, just like the bad behavior of men deserves consequences. That's
But
what
one's
equality
legal,
is.
one's not.
What you're advocating for is a society in which men get away with everything and women get blamed for everything. That's it. I mean, what else am I going to say?
All right, that was her close.
That was
All right.
that was weak. It was all emotional.
I can go. Yeah.
You might as
All
well
right.
jump in there.
Feminists are mainly white, middle-class, female liberals who have no idea how the real world works and yet want to advise you on how to live in it. Let me go through your complaints. Feminists want control over their bodies. You win. You have 12 types of birth control, and you can actually Uber Eats a Plan B. You have abortion on demand, and in the states that it's not, it's simply a weekend trip. You have aborted an eighth of the world population. You win. Feminists wanted to fight against rape culture. You win. If a woman is raped, assaulted, or if she revokes consent after the fact, she has the power to get a man fired from his job, kicked out of school, or thrown in jail. You won, feminists. Women want to be free of traditional gender roles? Fine. Men invented the dishwasher, the Roomba, the air fryer, fast food, and Uber Eats. There are meal prep services and cheap restaurants. You win. Women wanted to have a career first and get married later in life. Men allowed women to come into the workforce and have millions of dollars in funding, pushing women into male-dominated fields and scholarships, and invented IVF to give us another 5 years of fertility. The husbands pay for the IVF, and they are pushing to get it taxpayer funded. You win. Women wanted to be sexually liberated instead of getting married. Men invented Tinder and Hinge, so random men can literally come to your door. The men from your hometown are not good enough. Men invented social media, so you can get flown out by the highest status men in the world. Women did not want to work labor jobs? Fine. Men invented social media, so you can talk into a microphone and get paid. You can now work from home, so you can have a family and be a mom. You can make money selling your nudes on the internet and become a billionaire. Women did not want to give birth? Fine. Men invented surrogacy, so another woman can do it for you. Women wanted to be thin without working out. Now you have Ozempic. You want to look younger? Fine. Men invented Botox, hair dye, filters on your phone, nose jobs, Anna knows, plastic surgery, lash extensions, makeup, and AI to make you look thinner. You win.
Should look into it.
You can now wait till 40 to have a baby, freeze your face, work in an air-conditioned office, earn a living sitting on your ass, getting fat, spending money you don't have, marry someone to pay it off, divorce him, put him on alimony and child support, get a Roomba, abort your kid, have unprotected sex on camera, get paid for it, order any cooked food to your door, get a self-driving car, and then complain to men that they caused you to be lazy and fat. You are now empowered to have 10 abortions, bang 300 men, take a DEI position that pays $300K a year, Uber Eats a Plan B, study underwater basket weaving, and get sympathy when your degree pays no money. Feminists are spoiled, liberal, progressive women that have no idea how good they have it. You guys will never be happy until men are nothing but empty shells who are slaves to the system, fueled by feminists' selfishness, spending habits, and poor choices. Feminists don't care about equality because if they did, there would be equal rights for men. There would be equal men's shelters. There would be equal funding for men's cancer. There would be real equality. I checked 20 different feminist websites and have not found one that mentioned a single issue that asked for men to be equal. It only asked for special treatment. Feminism has empowered women to destroy this country through the death of 1,000 cuts. Feminism is not about equality, it's about insidious domination. It has been a slow creep to where women are complaining about their non-existent oppression. Men have figured this out because they're highly adaptive and the math is not mathing. I am curious to know feminists' plan when men refuse to stop providing, protecting, and maintaining the civilization you enjoy corrupting. Feminists are about to fuck around and find out. Feminists have won. You destroyed every single male group that used to be strictly for men, like Boy Scouts. You can falsely accuse men of rape, harassment, and endless lawsuits. Feminists have more political power, voting power, and spending power than any other group. Everybody caters to you. Corporations cater to you because women are the primary purchasers. Politicians because they need the vote. Men have to pay child support to a rapist. Men are not believed when they're abused. Men have to die at work and at war. Men have to pay child support for 18 to 21 years. Men have to register in selective service. Men are not given additional consideration for college admissions, jobs, opportunities, and scholarships. Children are not DNA tested at birth, leading to paternity fraud, which is not prosecuted at all. And men will more than likely deal with this in their lifetime. Men are the majority of the homeless. Men are the majority of the suicides. Women can hit men and men can't hit back. Feminism has empowered women to destroy men, and congratulations, 1.6 million men have committed suicide. What more do you want, Anna?
Damn,
All right.
that was fucking devastating.
Yeah, that was a Mike Tyson
I
punch.
watched this again. I won.
I told you. I keep telling you.
Recount the votes. Recount the votes. Recount them. I want to recount.
Stop. Yeah.
Listen. You need to get with Wilson and have him train you up on the whole debating thing. That dude's a master.
Yeah, he's probably the best debater on the planet, to be honest.
At this time, I'd have to agree with you, with Ben Shapiro being a close second.
Yeah, Andrew's better than Ben, in my opinion. I think that's why Ben doesn't do debates anymore. He can't really defend the Israel stuff. Not.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm glad I did it.
Know.
You know,
Now we know.
I know.
Yeah.
I learned for the future. So let me see if I have any other notes to talk about today. Yeah, next time we'll do a 1 or 2 documents tops to bring up. There's some things I would have changed, but overall I had fun. Thank you to World War Debate for having me. You guys really did a great job. And thank you to you guys for helping me. You guys are great. So many.
No, I mean, I don't know, that closing statement, like, there's no way she could defend that. It's all true. All of it. And her closing statement was nothing but an emotional argument.
Do you think that it should have been the opening? Or do you think it was better as the closing? In hindsight 2020.
The closing was actually really good. So, I mean, you could have, you retouched a lot of the stuff you had in the opening, but you really, really hit it home with the closing.
Yeah. I think the opening, you didn't know she was gonna like talk about your background and do personal stuff. So you were on a different like wavelength. Like you were just, let me be professional, say stats. And she was like, let me talk about Pearl's background. She spent like 30% of her opening talking about you, you know? So you didn't know, like your open, it just, now you know where these people are willing to go. You know, now you got to just act accordingly, you know, adapt accordingly.
Yeah. Well, you guys got any final thoughts before I close out the show? Thanks for, 3.5 hours. Thanks for coming, guys.
It's all good to go. I do
nothing.
this to save lives, man. So whatever I could do to put more numbers on my board, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, I want to get you on one of these debates. I just know you would cook. I would pay so much money.
It would turn into a debate comedy show.
You would cook. Like, can you imagine like Terrance versus, who would you want? Nuke, who would you want Terrance against?
Man.
But I'm not a good debater. I mean, I'm a good arguer, I guess. But
oh no, you'd be good. I can tell.
I'd probably stick to, I would stick more to the facts and not allow myself to get baited into the single E and double E discount women use, which is like safe, believe, and feel.
Well, and you can talk. The good thing that you have that I don't really have is like you have a very deep voice. And I can tell you know how to like raise it to get them to stop talking over you. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a hard time with that.
That's from the military command talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to do that in the military. You need to
be like,
very
shut your
forceful.
goddamn pie hole. Let me talk. Yeah.
Would you knife hand during the debate?
Of course I would.
Terrance?
Like, you son of a bitch.
Unfuck yourself.
Why are you fucked up? You need to invest in a little unfuck yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got nothing.
Did they tell you couldn't swear and stuff, or they didn't care about that?
No, it was the first one, so there wasn't a ton of like rules or. They just told us like 5-minute. They just told us the length of time for everything.
Yeah, I was getting really worked up in the first half, and like some people were getting mad at me, and I had to apologize. I'm like, look, I'm really sorry. I'm out of pocket here. I understand you came here to listen to debate, not hear me yelling. So I'm going to move away, so you don't have to put up with me anymore.
Really? What'd you do?
Some guys were getting pretty mad, so I moved around so I wouldn't yell too much by the same people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, she just has more experience talking to people, and her arguments. She was able to cite the sources better than you. She didn't have a lot of uncomfortable pauses like you did. So
yeah, we live and we learn. So next time. Well, thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate it always. And where can people find your channels?
Well, I run redonkulous.com, and then if you search for my name, Terrance Popp, or redonkulous.com, I have like 2,000 videos on YouTube, and I have almost as many on Rumble. I'm on virtually every video platform on the planet.
Cool.
So there you go.
Thanks, Terrance. Till next time.
All righty. I'll see you guys later.
All right, bye. And my link is in the chat. Huh?
Oh, I said, you want to push your channel?
Yeah, my link is in the chat. So you guys want to follow me there.
Okay. Thanks for coming on.
All right. I'll see you later.
All right. Bye. Well, guys, I actually, I'm watching it back. I didn't think it was that bad. It's more, I got to learn how to be a yeller. I got to learn how to be like, what, I got to do a low voice. That's how the politicians do it. It's like, and I got to stop laughing. I do this annoying laugh. I did my best. Don't be like Anna. She's annoying. Oh my God. I'd rather kill myself than be like that woman. Oh my God. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm a little tired, so I'm going to go, but I'll see ya. Bye-bye.